through the power, force,
All
might, and
right,
will of
y'all.
the
We
great.
live again.
Okay, we're live
Go ahead.
again. All right. Well, through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, invisible light, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into physical realization, actualization, and form, as we all now will and commanded to be, is now being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial Typhonian dragon serpent indigo kundalini flame. Now, whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakra to our central heart chakra and on up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, the Lord Amen El Chakra, the hidden priestly grandmaster magi dragon god son king and queen, igniting all of our 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon god son kings and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies, willing all of the forces, all of the powers, all of the elements, all of the essences, dark matter and dark energy within the absolute all, in the being becoming all of our will servants, serving all of our will objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into physical realization, actualization, and form, as we all now will and commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force of unstoppable energy, helping us all now by bringing all out war, judgment, death, and destruction upon all of the corrupted, multi-dimensional, negative, archonic energies and their white supremacist, European, American, imperialistic, global elite counterfeit spirits running the surface of the earth with their technology, which is directed at us and our well-being in order to kill, murder, corrupt, and degenerate us, taking us off of our true evolutionary path and cycle to forever enslave us deeper and deeper into their artificial reality construct in the name of their God and master, the demiurge, as we are now able of pulling down unlimited supernal energy from right out of the nothingness into our reality, manifesting it here as an all-consuming flame that no force can stand up to, burning away all of the multi-dimensional archonic demiurge energies, raising the vibratory rate so high, making all of the archonic demiurge energies too sick to even fight us, as our energy is completely consuming away all of the archonic demiurge energies directed against us, clearing the way to our true evolutionary path, using our first eye, the hidden grandmaster magi, and to open up a super massive black hole, sucking in all of the archonic demiurge energies back into the primordial nothingness to be regenerated into something else more universally constructive, as we are now all free to ascend back up to conscious unity through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness, of the almighty powers of the great nothingness, of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized, as we all will and commanded to be, now being and becoming projected unto the entire omniverse, earth, the physical, the spiritual matrix, and the entire heavenlies, from beyond the entire omniverse, earth, and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenlies, now completely taking over and consciously judging and destroying the entire omniverse, earth, and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenlies, being and becoming the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized, as we all will and commanded to be as one. Abracadabra.
Yes, yes. Crystal changer. Okay. Do you got the cues for this video? I was
Oh, the man, this video right here.
Yeah,
Let's
I was
say,
listening to it last. I fell asleep to this tonight, and it's
yeah,
really deep. It goes really
yeah,
deep.
yeah. I know. I think we just play it and stop it and just make
Oh,
comment on, yeah, because it um, from start to finish. It's too good. It's good. So let's just start it, play it, and we'll take it from there.
Themes that were explored in the previous lecture. So I think it's a nice continuity. And we will see this idea of divine darkness and how it is interpreted in terms of a mystical approach. The idea of darkness is there in all mystical traditions, or the mystical aspect of all religions. I'm going to present some examples from the theosophical literature and also from the Christian tradition. But we can find this in, as I said, in many others. I don't know, in Buddhism, there is this idea of the dark meditation. In Judaism, there is this quote, for example, Adonai has chosen to dwell in thick darkness. Adonai is the name of God. In Hinduism, we have the Asampranyata Samadhi, for example, which means union without cognition, beyond thoughts, beyond knowledge, similar to what Christian mystics talk about when they mention the cloud of unknowing. So we will see some excerpts from these two traditions, theosophical and Christian, but these are not exclusive to them. So let's see first this idea of darkness in theosophical literature. In my previous talk, I mentioned a little about the idea that darkness is the real and light is a temporary reflection of the real. So Blavatsky says,
I should stop it right there, bro.
Yeah.
Light is nothing but a temporary of the actual real, which is the darkness.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. It's
So
just,
light is an illusion.
yes, it's an illusion. It's and has to be manufactured artificially. Everything
Right.
eventually goes back to darkness, which is a light that our intellect cannot
So the
comprehend.
reality. So the
Hmm?
reality, it said the absolute reality as darkness. Darkness is the one true actuality that based in the root of light, without which the latter can never manifest itself, nor even exist. Darkness is a radical metaphysical base. It is a radical metaphysical basis in a subjective and absolute light, while the latter is all it seems effulgence, effulgence and grace is merely a mass of shadow, as it will never be eternal, and is simply an illusion.
Yeah. Light is
That's
not eternal.
Blavatsky saying that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's deep to me, because I'm thinking light is purpose. Oh my God, no, light is not the purpose. Darkness is the purpose. You want to go back to the dark. You don't
Yeah,
want to
you
go
want to
to
go
the
back to the
light.
dark. You
I
don't want to go
said
to the
that
light.
too, though. Remember when I was
Yeah.
saying that? Remember when I was saying that, when I was saying, I was going over how most people their near-death experiences, where they say go to the light, go to the light. I was like, no,
Oh,
go to the dark.
no, you go to the
Go to the
light. Your
dark. No,
soul
you're
gonna
supposed to
get,
go to the dark, not the light. If
yeah,
you go
you're
to
gonna
the
get
light,
hijacked.
right.
Gonna,
You go to the light, you get another
soul jack. You're
demiurge.
gonna get,
It's another
yeah, you're gonna,
demiurge.
Yeah, you go into the demiurge territory, but that's where most people want to go. That's all they know.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only energy
Darkness
they know.
is
Right.
the one true actuality, the basis at the root of light, without which the latter could never manifest itself, not even exist. Darkness, in its radical metaphysical basis, is subjective and absolute light. Remember, I said that light per se is not brilliant or radiant. It becomes radiant.
So darkness is absolute light.
Yes, absolute light.
Think about that.
Radiant when it bounces off some object. So, in its essence, light is also dark. While the latter, light, in all its seeming effulgence and glory, is merely a mass of shadows, as it can never be eternal and is simply an illusion. So, light, from a mystical point of view, and we are going to see that, is presented as a shadow, as an illusion, because it is not eternal. I mentioned this also in my previous lecture that in the universe, light has to be actively produced by a star, for example.
Look, also, I'm giving a spoiler, but he's going to bring up the fact that darkness is beyond consciousness.
Yeah, he's going to get into that.
Going
Yeah,
to
consciousness.
states of trans being.
Yeah,
Going
conscious.
to dark state is beyond consciousness. So it's like, how could you even conceive beyond consciousness? That's beyond conception.
Yeah, well, that you're out of duality then. Consciousness is the beginning of duality, separation.
But in this trance state of darkness, there's no thought, or is there another form of trance, or what?
You can say
will you live? Will you go beyond thought and you go into levels of clairvoyance?
You become all thoughts.
Mm.
You don't see, there's no point of reference anymore, because now you exist. Once you're absorbed into the darkness, I guess you exist at all points in space and time. I mean, there's no man, I don't. Oh,
It's beyond consciousness. He's gonna go into that.
Yeah, he's going to go into that.
Artificially created, artificially in the sense that it's not something that is the default state of the universe. The nature of the universe is darkness. And light is something that is created, lasts for a while, and then things go back to darkness. Now, we normally associate darkness with death, with unconsciousness, with evil. But this is only because we have perhaps a bias for the kind of consciousness we know, and we are attached to the kind of consciousness we know. But every mystic says there is another, call it consciousness, a non-consciousness, which is far more real than what we know. And from that perspective, the idea of darkness is transformed. It's not the darkness of the emptiness as we know it. And we will see some of this. So Blavatsky says, when the whole universe returns to its one primordial element, there is neither center of luminosity nor eye to perceive light, and darkness necessarily fills the boundless all. Now, this is also the psychological experience. When we are present in our normal consciousness, there is an eye to perceive. That eye implies my eye as opposed to the rest. I see the rest that is separate away from me. But there are states of consciousness in which my sense of separation can disappear, and then there is something else there, which is a universe.
That's when you become one with the all. When you become one with the all, there is no I, there is no ego, there is no demiurge.
Yeah, you're omnipresent almost. Yeah.
Right. So and it's crazy because now we dabbled and conversated about the purpose of humanity, right? That is the purpose of humanity. Because the all has to experience itself. It's a way to experience itself.
Yeah. And to come back conscious of that.
Wow.
Yeah,
We are not. In the spiritual sense, Blavatsky says darkness is not the absence of light, but the one incomprehensible primordial principle. The essence of everything in the universe, including ourselves, this primordial principle is what we call darkness. She says, being absoluteness itself has for our intellectual perceptions neither form, color, substantiality, nor anything that could be expressed by words. So you can
that primordial essence or principle. The Kemetic people, the Kemetic used to call it noon, the primordial.
Yeah. Oh, the primordial waters of noon.
Begin to see that one of the reasons why we talk about darkness in terms of the essence of things is because to our intellect, which is used to perceive concrete, separate entities, this is something that has no form, because a form is a limitation. Something that has a form is right here and not there. But the divine principle, if it is omnipresent, it cannot be contained in any particular, it cannot be of any particular color. If you say the one principle is blue, that means it is not red. But if the one principle is the whole, then you cannot define it with any of the qualities that pertain to the fragments, to the separation. So for when we
that's a good analogy of the actual. It's a fragmented reality. It's fragmented. So you only have a linear. Everything is linear here.
Yeah, it's just a fragmented aspect of the all. Yeah, this is a whole new vocabulary, whole new way of thinking.
Awareness of yourself.
Awareness.
So the thing about it is, this is not just for everybody. That it appears to be that most are too intertwined in lower sub planes of existence that they can't even get. I mean, this is overwhelming to them in their vibration and the vibration they're in. This is overwhelming.
Oh, this on that video where that guy had that great idea and he tell it to you, your brain get caught in a loop and then it bursts and you die. It'll probably affect them the same way.
Well, the thing about it is, I rarely see our people in these type of seminars too. And this is what our ancestors was trying to explain to us. If you study Blavatsky, all she did was go to these ancient places, talk to the shamans there, and gathered the information up.
Yeah, and they only gave her so much of that information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
We try to contemplate this divine principle with our intellect, it is just darkness, it is formless. So she continues, it is darkness most unquestionably to our intellect. inasmuch as we can know nothing of it. Neither darkness nor light are to be used in the sense of opposites as in the differentiated world. So this is emphasizing the fact that darkness is because it's unknown to our intellect. So the question is, if it is something that we cannot perceive, is it beyond us? Is it useless to talk about it?
No.
Normally, there is a tendency to look at things in this way, even in modern philosophy, where there is the postulate that the essences, the noumenon, if it exists, is beyond our perception altogether. Therefore, why are we postulating that there is something that we can never know?
Yeah, because it's irrelevant to human thinking. It's
Yep.
irrelevant.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like fishes under the sea trying to
think like a human. If you want to continue to think like a human, what we're doing here is irrelevant to you. You don't understand it. You will never understand it because you are human. You want to continue to dwell in humanity. Oh, the humanity of it and all this old crap.
Yeah. The illusion, Maya.
The limitation in this approach is based in the fact that there is a lack of self-knowledge in our modern culture.
Right.
Because we think that our faculties end with our intellect.
Boom! 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 That's a fucking atomic bomb for y'all motherfuckers. Intellectual masturbators.
Yeah.
If something is not attainable by the intellect, then by definition it is beyond ourselves. Now, all mystical traditions postulate that there is a higher source of perception, a higher organ.
A higher source of perception.
Yeah.
That's that trans level of you beyond human thinking now. It's like, why at that point it's like, why think like a human now? That's
mutated
really
thought.
is like, why think like a human now?
Yeah. Yeah, because you just only gonna create the karma that a human create. Now you create a new karma,
right,
beyond your humanity,
if we want to call it. And this is something that so far only the spiritual traditions are taking into account. Science, regular psychology, philosophy limit themselves to what is perceptible, to what is known, understood, and leave all these other very important aspects of human beings aside. So I think there is an enormous value in the spiritual traditions when we come to these aspects that are beyond the reach of science. We are in love with science and technology in our culture. Science is perhaps the new God, but it's a very limited God, perhaps like the God of the Gnostics.
the demiurge,
very limited, very concrete, just tied to the
he's
physical
going to put it in
universe,
its place.
far more behind. So Blavatsky says the occultists, the Rosicrucians, the Rosicrucians of the Middle Ages, and even the medieval Kabbalists said that to our human perception, and even to that of the highest angels, the universal deity is darkness. And from this darkness issues the Logos. The Logos is, as we discussed,
they dropped a bomb on me.
Think of the Logos as the knowable deity, the source of intelligence, the source of wisdom, the word, as it was translated by John in one of the Gospels. And then she says, if the absolute deity can be referred to as darkness or the dark fire, the light, its first progeny, is truly the first self-conscious God. So the idea is that there is this absolute darkness, the source of...
What the people who might be listening don't realize is they're talking about your melanin. They're talking about your ability to vibrate at these levels.
Yeah.
Because you got melanin.
Yeah, we just got white people telling us.
The darkness is melanin.
Yep. The
Right.
darkness is the manifestation of that
Conscious God.
darkness down here.
Yes.
In most religions, we relate to God as a conscious entity. By conscious, I mean an entity that shares similar attributes to ours. God is love. Depending on the
Dark
tradition,
fire.
God may get angry. God is this or that. And these are all human attributes.
Woo! You heard him. You heard him. These are all human attributes. Y'all and they look. They got a episode on American Gods, right? When there was a Yusha God, right, who was coming to realize that, damn, I am what the people have told me I am all these times. I'm something way greater. And she, oh my God, that's what they're talking about right now. We're creating these ideas based on our disposition, based on our comfortability, based on what we like. You know how most people, they cherry pick the Bible, they take parts of it that they want to take that fits with how they want to live their life and shit. But in order to take it in its totality, will be compromising to you. You feel like, oh, I don't want to do all that. It's compromising, so stop it.
Find this description of God okay, but limited. This is our perception of God, but there is something beyond that. And that, for example, in the Christian tradition, they developed this idea of the Godhead or the Godhood, that is a more abstract aspect of God, which is the ground or the essence of all these manifested qualities. And therefore is beyond consciousness. Why? Because, as Blavatsky says here, consciousness implies limitations and qualifications. Something out there, the object, to be conscious of, and someone, myself, yourself, the subject, to be conscious of it. So there is a duality in consciousness. But absolute consciousness contains the cognizer, the thing cognized, and the cognition. The knower, the known, and the knowledge. All three in itself, and all three in one. This is a kind of perception that we don't know. If our perception is limited to our intellect, our senses, our psyche, the emotions, the mind, we don't know about this kind of conscious non-consciousness.
Ooh, he said conscious non. Let me go through that again. That was he just dropping bombs after bomb after motherfucking bomb.
Man. Yeah.
Out there, the object to be conscious of, and someone, myself, yourself, the subject, to be conscious of it. So there is a duality in consciousness. But absolute consciousness contains the cognizer, the thing cognized, and the cognition.
The knower, the known.
It's this Trinity that makes the all being be able to be all being. Because it's that level of cognition that they have. That when you reach that level, not that they have, but when you reach that level of cognition, it's no need for consciousness anymore. Like, what about, you feel me? I am consciousness now. I am conscious.
Yeah.
The known and the knowledge, all three in itself and all three in one. This is a kind of perception that we don't know.
The known, the
if
knower,
our
and the
perception is limited to our intellect, our senses, our psyche, the emotions, the mind, we don't know about this kind of conscious non-consciousness. Therefore, when we try to figure out this idea of the divine, either we interpret it in terms of separation, the divine separated from the creation, myself separated from the divine, or we can hold the idea that there is a state that transcends the normal
duality
concept that we have about me perceiving something else.
Right, duality.
And this is the mystical search, the search for that state in which we transcend duality. So let's see how some Christian mystics talked about this idea. A famous, perhaps one of the first Christian mystics to work on this was Dionysius the Areopagite. Now, the scholars say that this person who wrote this book, for example, the mystical theology, cannot be Dionysius. Otherwise, he was a disciple of Paul. So they call him pseudo Dionysius. In any case, I'm sure that pseudo Dionysius was far more brilliant than the true Dionysius, but now we call him pseudo Dionysius. And he says the pure, absolute, and immutable mysteries. Mysteries comes from the roots, the same root as the word a mist, a cloud. These things that we cannot quite perceive. So the pure and absolute and immutable, eternal mysteries of theology, of the knowledge of God, are veiled in the dazzling obscurity of the secret science. So you see, he talks, most mystics use paradoxes. So dazzling obscurity of the secret silence, outshining all brilliance, this darkness.
Wow. Darkness is silence. Silence is darkness.
Yep.
It's like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, light is noise.
Once you've been in consciousness so long, and it's not impressive, you can appreciate silence and darkness.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a level of appreciation for that right there. That's where you can. It's like you don't even have this weight of thought on you. It's like thought is like a weight on you. Like it brings you. It really does. Oh my God.
Yeah. Thought it runs you.
Mm. It weigh heavy on you, on your vibration.
Yeah, it does.
So this is why meditation is important.
Oh, he's gonna get on meditation.
Meditation is important because you have to practice drowning out all of the illusion,
including your own.
Yes, all of the illusion. You that's part of it. The fact, look, you just gave me that's a dope ass idea because you're projecting the illusion. You're creating the illusion from your own reception of it, right?
Yeah. You got to let go of all your perceptions.
That's the way you get rid of all of it. Because if you are actively attempting to drown out all of your reception to this signal, and it's all about how you can get to a level or a state of clarity within yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's about what have you in your own duality within yourself. Do you get along with yourself? Do you even have reflection upon what you're doing? Or this is how you quiet yourself. This is how you, because you are at odds with yourself right now. Everyone is at odds with themselves.
Yeah,
so you're not quiet those parts of yourself until you come to an agreement with parts of yourself.
So and he call it in Sanskrit. They call like mind. They call it manas. So you have higher manas and lower manas are the higher mental planes, and then us down here in physicality, which would be the lower manas. But down here you have the low manas, and then you have the higher low manas. So you want to function on your higher low manas, and when you're functioning on your higher low manas, that puts you in contact with the higher mental realms.
Okay, so we need to come up with a list of activities or even meditations, not we came up with, but techniques of meditation that will higher your vibration. Because this is key. Because
Yes.
from my own personal journey about hiring my vibration, I would
Mhm.
just whatever humanity is the norm for humanity, I
Yeah.
question it. I question it to a point where I start going into what the divine nature has to say about this, about like where is it in the divine nature that answers these questions. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this is what I mostly go to the divine nature. So divine nature answers all the questions, especially on the physical level. You get all your questions answered going to divine nature, not attempting to believe in humanity. Even the scripture says don't believe in man. The scripture tells
Yeah.
you don't believe in man. So
Yeah.
if you have to go into a higher divinity of self to
Yeah.
get answers. That's the only answers you go. That's the only way that where the answers gonna come from. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
You're looking for if you're looking for somebody to be your guru and give you answers for your destiny, then you have to be your guru.
yeah,
Period.
the,
You have to
the
be your own
guru,
guru.
the guru's job, or the master's job, is to get you to learn how to come online and be your own master.
Yes. Any so-called guru or teacher that's doing the opposite, that wants you to just look
Oh,
praise
that's
them,
a cult. That's a cult.
that's a cult. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a cult.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah,
That's a perfect word for what you say. Because
yeah, that's
if you're on that level where you have the discernment and you are vibrating and you're gonna teach others, you're not
uh-huh.
supposed to teach them to be beneath you.
No,
You supposed to look for students that can exceed where you went.
yeah, so you can take the rest of the time off, and they
Right,
take on. Yeah,
right.
the booty
Hey,
could go.
man, for real. They exceed because at the end of the day, you want a gang of Jedi. You know what I'm saying? Jedi's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
For
you
real.
want, yeah, you want some Jedi's. You don't
Oh,
want some fucking
Sith Lords.
believers.
My bad. Sith Lords. I
Sith
want it's
lords.
like
Yeah,
Jedi's and Sith Lords because it's their path.
yeah,
They'll pick their own path.
yeah. You want them both.
It'll be Jedi's and Sith Lords.
Mm-hmm.
I will have Jedi's and Sith Lords as Padawans.
Yeah, and everything else is just clones.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Woo!
Jedi's, the
Right.
Siths, and the
The Clone
clones.
Wars. Oh my God. Now I understand the hype. That's exactly what they meant by that.
Yeah,
Damn. Oh my. Boom. Another bomb was dropped right there.
yeah.
Clone fucking wars, bro.
The Clone Wars, baby.
Oh my God.
Shit, Bobby Hemmington gave us that shit. Oh man, still here.
More brilliant than all brilliance with the intensity of their darkness, and surcharging our blinded intellects with the utterly impalpable and invisible fairness of glories surpassing all beauty. Imagine the most beautiful thing, the most beautiful image of God. There is a brilliant darkness that surpasses that. And mystics many times use this flowery language because they are trying to express that state by means of words that per se are very cold, very limited. So he says, the beneficent cause reveals himself in his naked truth to those alone who, leaving behind them all divine light and sound and heavenly utterances, plunge into the darkness where truly dwells, as the oracles declare, that one who is beyond all. So he's talking about things that many religious people, let's say, crave for:
Right. They
divine light and
perceive
Yeah,
sound, heavenly
their perception
utterances,
of
to be in touch with God, but by means of a sensorial relationship, whether the senses are physical or psychic. There are some mystics that are visionaries, and they have these visions. But there are some mystics that go even beyond the visions. They say there is something that is beyond images, beyond senses, beyond the intellect. And this is where the true deity lies. All the visions are the shadow of the true deity in the view of these kind of mystics.
Oh, the shadow.
The visions are the shadow.
He says, plunges into the
Yeah.
darkness of knowing, when all perfection of understanding is excluded. So one theme in the mystics is to go beyond understanding. But see that he says perfection of understanding. Going beyond the...
First of all, the concept of beyond understanding is not even on nobody's radar. Like that's all people knowledge, wisdom, understanding. What about beyond understanding? How could you go beyond understanding? This is the question that should be going through your fucking head right now.
Yeah, but we're taking it to the next level.
Understanding is not refusing understanding, going back into non-understanding. They are talking about a trans-mental state, not a pre-mental state. One problem I think is quite prevalent in modern spirituality is that recognizing that the mind is limited, there is a tendency to go back to the instinctual, to the impulsive, calling it spontaneous.
So that principle of hermetic principle of the all is mine, right?
Yeah.
That's only speaking of the known created reality, not the reality or what you call the B universe.
Yeah, that's the physical. That's the 7 hermetic principle of the physical universe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Now this is beyond that.
All that. This is going beyond that because we're It's like you going if you going beyond consciousness. There's no need for the thought itself, really. You know what I'm saying?
You're jumping into that black mercurous water.
But the thing about it is, it's a higher level of cognition. It's not what you are normally looking through a perceptual, human perceptual.
It's outside of the human realm of thinking.
Right. It's not a human state of perceptual state of consciousness.
Yeah, it's
hard to explain it because we don't have a reference point in humanity because humanity is not meant to go that high.
Yes, it's not set up on that level.
Humanity.
Yeah, it's the theology don't go there. Science don't go there. Philosophy don't go there. So if they're not going there,
that's what he was just saying. He just said that they do not go there. They don't go to the darkness. They don't. No. They have already categorized and they have already.
They can only go by what they can see, feel, and measure.
You see how he already said they have already characterized darkness as evil or the unknown, right? And the thing about it is, the evil part is just that's the Christian traditional. That's Christian traditional folklore, or not folklore, but superstition.
Yeah. Well,
superstition. If you don't know it, then you superstitious of it.
It's evil. Bobby Hemmett taught that. He said even in ancient Kemet, as time went by, the ancient Typhonian shit became evil to the dynastic Egyptians.
Right.
And And so they made those gods into evil deities or devils.
Like Set.
Yeah. Yeah.
Set was not an evil deity. It just
No.
over time, because humanity's
Degeneration. Degenerate.
consciousness is degenerating, right?
Yeah.
Over time, it's what's called epistemology or etymology, right? It got weaved out of the subconscious or the psyche of the general public. We used to go back to the root of things. Now we just accept things that they are, had they been repackaged to us.
Yeah. Well, there's some that's going back to the roots. You got a lot of people out there that are code breakers.
Right.
And they're real good at it.
To go back than to go through and beyond. But when you see the mystics, even in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, there is this idea of the non-cognitive unions. But the idea is to develop the cognitive aspect to the perfection that it is available to provide, and then going beyond. So he says, dwelling plunges in the darkness that is beyond the perfection of understanding, where all that is excluded, and he is enwrapped in that which is altogether intangible and noumenal. Noumenal is the essences of which we only see appearances. So he says, being wholly absorbed in him who is beyond all, and through the inactivity of all his reasoning powers, see, by leaving behind all the reasoning powers, the mystic is united by his highest faculty to him who is wholly unknowable. So there is a highest faculty that is beyond the reasoning powers.
So if you're trying to reason, you're trying to figure it out, trying to find a purpose to it, you're not getting it.
Yeah. Yo, 2 + 2 = 4 don't work here.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
But that's how they dismissed us. Oh, yeah. How can I perceive it? How can I? No. Stop. You already
using the wrong faculty.
You already off when you say, "How can I perceive it?" Whatever.
You gotta have.
At the end of the day, until you realize that there is a higher level of cognizance than human perception.
Yeah.
You can't understand that, then I can't even explain it to you.
Through human perception.
I can't.
He knows that.
It can't be explained through human perception.
So this is...
It can't be explained through human perception. It can't.
No.
You got to go beyond. You have to, because it's hard for us to even explain it, because we're thinking human. We're thinking the reference point we have are human. Once we go beyond that and we start digging into reference, like on looking at the primordial and how it operates, and how we start getting clues on what's really going on, because that's the absolute all.
Yeah. I mean, if we keep going in that direction, we'll probably burst out of these physical bodies.
Clear here that there is a faculty of which science knows nothing about, philosophy in the West knows little about. The trend, unfortunately, today is to move away from metaphysics, to put philosophy at the service of science, and I think that it's okay.
What happened? You there?
Philosophy, psychology, that try to explore transpersonal reality.
See, he's making a distinction between those who are on the soul work or doing the great work, and those who are just indulging in humanity. You're just
Mm-hmm.
indulging in humanity.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is what you're supposed to be on.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be on this shit right here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they are not prevalent. So it is by the mystical approach that we can get in touch with this. What is this highest faculty? Well, Blavatsky says every one of us possesses the faculty, the interior sense, known as intuition. You know, the word intuition is more or less means the interior sense.
Woo-hoo!
Intuition is a knowledge that doesn't come through the mind.
Nope.
So many times in
It
philosophy,
comes from somewhere else. It's like channeling. It's like you tap into higher realms, and it comes from that. And these higher realms
come from the dark.
We have to realize that we are the reality that we're observing.
It comes from out of that darkness. That
We
nothing.
are the multidimensional reality we're observing.
Mm-hmm.
We are that.
Yeah.
of the intuition is a sensorial perception before the mind puts a concept on what we are perceiving. What the senses bring is an intuition, and then the mind conceptualizes it. But there are different levels of intuition. A hunch is a form of intuition.
Woo! Boom! People don't know that you're not supposed to be really thinking with your brain. You're supposed to be thinking with your heart.
Yeah.
That is the higher intelligence inside of you, your heart.
Yep.
Wow. This is, and people are led to believe, don't wear your heart on your sleeve. Don't be vulnerable. Don't be, but it's an intelligence to it. Of course, you don't want allow people to take advantage of you because you are tapped in, right?
Yeah.
Because you can understand, because when you tapped in, when you are listening to your heart more than you listening to your head.
Yeah, in. Your heart is grand central.
Right.
Yeah. You're supposed to bring both the root and the head into the heart.
But we've been in this society, it's the other way around. They've been led to believe that, oh, you go with your head, you go with your you go with higher fucking insight saying to you, like your ancestors could be speaking to you, and that's what you go with. Like you gotta realize, you gotta learn to. This is why that silence is important.
Well, speaking of ancestors,
because it's a still voice. You can't really hear on this dimension. It ain't even a sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a sound. It's just like a notion, or no, I wouldn't even call it a notion. It's hard to. It's a cognition, bro. It's like some way they communicate with you on a higher level, basically.
It's
we work out by thinking about it. But that, in the theosophical view, is more of a psychic intuition. And the intuition may be wrong, may be right, and it's still normally about information of the world. But Blavatsky says there is a spiritual intuition, as we are going to see, intuition, that direct perception which alone can show us the essence of something. And that is what is a faculty that is higher than the mind.
And the thing about this intuition of the soul, that is based on you hiring your vibration. People realize you're making decisions right now that's lowering, hiring your vibration. That's what they mean by things are up and down. Why? Yeah. Because you're making these decisions that's hiring and lowering your vibration, right? You're not controlling the frequency, how it's turning up and down. You're not controlling it, because you're allowing it to manipulate you. This is how they harness our energy, because they're tuning our vibration for us, and making us react in a certain way to give off a certain energy that they're harnessing.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, well, yeah, they're like the Pied Piper. They're playing a tune, and they got us off of our shit and going after following their tune. And he's just playing his tune and taking us where he want to take us.
Right. It's a transit state, but a lower transit state where it's like we become automatons.
Yeah.
And we don't realize it. Like a lot of people are pathological about their behavior, and then they don't even realize they're doing certain things that they've already been socially engineered. You don't realize you're doing these things.
Yeah. And they will defend this behavior at all costs.
The main thing about the Matrix, right, is that most people think it's entertainment. That's the main tragedy of the Matrix. Everybody just thinks it, and when it's
that's the Pied Piper. That's the Pied Piper.
Right.
Yeah, that's the Pied Piper playing. Yeah, that's the Pied Piper. The entertainment. Yeah. That's the Pied Piper.
Yeah.
The pretty colors, the glamour.
Ooh, that's the number one way they take you away off your soul purpose.
Yeah, the glamour.
Intuition, but how rare are those who know how to develop it? It is, however, the only faculty by means of which men and things are seen in their true colors. It is an instinct of the soul, which grows in us in proportion to the use we make of it. You see, many times, even in phenomenology, in philosophy, where the idea is to explore the experience, most philosophers don't have access to this faculty because we are not taught how to develop it. So the field of experience that philosophy and science and psychology, as I keep repeating, the field.
I love how he explains the shit though. He explained it with so much articulation that it's like you actually visualize it.
Yeah.
The field of experience that they have access to is limited because we don't train ourselves to explore this. And then when a mystic comes and talks about this other field, they interpret it, because they cannot perceive it, they interpret it as hallucination or a psychological memory of.
That's what I was talking about when I was saying how, because crystal magic and crystal vibration and crystal communing is pseudoscience in this society. Why? Because they already are tuned into another frequency that says that we get our energy from our alternative current or direct current. That's where we get our energy from. When actually the actual reality, once you go beyond that program, you can harness energy out of thin fucking air, bro. They're doing it all the time. They just they're not gonna give it to us because that's a monopoly. Energy, that's a monopoly, bro. You can't just let that be gone, and
that's how you keep people enslaved. People, if we have free energy, you can't enslave people with free energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though this technology already exists now. I mean,
it didn't exist.
People would tell me, "Oh yeah, you don't know. You don't know." Listen. Look at their what they have said they have advanced to. Come back and tell me they don't got this yet.
Well, this technology is not new. They had this technology in the sub races before us had this technology.
Exactly. So this technology, that's a misconception right there. That we're technology advances us in some type of way. That's a misconception. No, it doesn't. This is even beneath the ancient technology that they had. Man, come on, this is not even This is, come on now.
Shit, I think they abandoned technology. Our ancestors, I believe, they abandoned technology because they learned that it's not the end all be all.
Well, they not only abandoned it, it was like they harnessed the organic technology that will represent their essence, right? It was the
Yeah,
organic technology that came from the all, which was the primordial.
yeah. They
And this is
figured
what
out.
they harnessed. They
They
harnessed
probably,
that.
yeah, they probably figured out technology was starting to make them stupid.
Look, this is exactly what it do, because what does a computer do but make you numb to being able to process just as fast as a computer, right? Your mind
Mm-hmm.
should be able to process just as fast as a computer can process. Your mind came up with the idea of it. So why in the hell can we can proceed? Why can we can't exceed it? And then they will tell us, oh, this is us exceeding it by creating a computer, right? No.
Well,
I'm talking
well,
about I'm talking about harnessing the power of the mind. They're telling you we're not even utilizing all of our brain yet.
well.
So,
The answer to that question, the reason why, is because we do not have true education here. Education is illegal here. We
yeah,
have indoctrination, educated. We
right.
indoctrinated. It's not
Yeah, train.
education. Yeah, we
Yeah,
train workers
indoctrinate.
or train slaves. Now, if we did, um, if we were using, I mean, practicing true education, yeah, we'd be smarter than
Guess
computers.
what? Guess what?
Okay.
They actually are practicing these things, but these are secret programs that they got going on that
Mm-hmm.
they won't tell the general public about. These are
No, they're
secret
dumbing
programs
us
that got
down. They're giving us all the dumb shit.
right. But they got these facilities where they're trying to harness the power of channeling, and they're trying to uh, get certain humans who have cognitive power to harness their powers and weaponize their powers and shit. They do this behind closed door all the time, bro. So it ain't. It's like, of course, they don't want the general public to be getting into. This is what they were talking about right here too. They were just
Well,
talking about that. That's why they put it. They categorize it or
the beautiful thing.
characterize it. They
Uh-huh.
characterize it as the darkness as evil. Why? Because if people contemplate the darkness, they will learn that they've been lied to.
Yeah. Well, I think the beautiful thing about that is that when that they're doing this behind closed door, using people that have this type of knowing and knowledge um, to uh, to weaponize their, to bring their weapons to alive, is the ancestors and gods working through those people to give them the shit that eventually is going to be used to their destruction.
Okay, I can work with that.
Yeah.
I can work with
In
that.
other in
But the
other
thing
words,
about yeah, go
they've
ahead.
been given they've been channeled all the information that they need to create all the weapons and everything that they need to destroy themselves.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let them the process continue. Let the process continue then. Shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were in the womb or things like that. But there is a faculty which is available if we develop it. So she says, grows in us in proportion to the use we make of it, and which help us to perceive and understand real and absolute facts with far more certainty than can the simple use of our senses and the exercise of our reason. So coming back to Pseudo Dionysius, he gives a hint as to how to work towards this perception. And he says, we
one thing.
ascend from the
Can you stop there for a second?
universal concept.
Okay.
Okay, I sent you another video. That's gonna let you know that how important it is for each one of us to take this shit kind of serious, because we don't have that much time left. We don't have shit is happening.
I'm at the end of the day, I'm not worried about time because
oh no, we don't have to worry about it. But
it is what it is. I mean, at this point, if you're not hiring your vibration, then you're gonna experience some real stuff that's going. A lot of people gonna be in purgatory. Is all I can say.
Oh, we're gonna see a lot of death and destruction on the planet. We're gonna see some 2012. You remember that movie 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna see some shit almost like that. And we'll get to that video after we finish with this. We're gonna get to that one. Yeah, some serious shit on there. People need to know about.
You probably gonna have to come back to this. This is an hour.
Yeah, we might have to come back to this next week or later on. But it's some serious shit that I think we need to. Some other shit we need to put up there. I sent you this other video, the Planet X video.
Planet X. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some. It has a lot to do with the sun. In fact, that movie 2012, they were pretty much telling us what was going to happen, and what they was telling us then is happening now.
I didn't get it. You texted it to me? Did you text it to me?
Yeah, I'll send it to you again.
Oh, well, okay, I got it. My bad.
Okay. Yeah.
The one about Planet X.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Let's see if I can pull it up right quick. Okay, another thing that will higher your vibration is getting over your fears.
Well, you better do that now while it's easy, because it's not going to be so easy in the days to come. The next 5 years on this planet is going to be the most challenging 5 years in human history.
I can't do nothing but agree with that, because it's culminated into this now. It's like a culmination, like a cooking pot.
Yeah,
it's boiling over now. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, between now and 2027 is going to be you can't even. I can't. I mean, on a personal level, you really cannot make no plans. No life plans for the next 5 years, because there's no uncertainty, because everything is coming unweaved. The fabric of society is coming undone. Everything is coming undone.
Well, I disagree, because that's disempowering, and this is not only a truth show, but it's an empowering show. I think we create realities. I think if as much as we mature ourselves and get to the level where we can utilize our powers that we actually have as a collective conscious, we can change the dynamic so far. But if we continue to allow them to convince us of this reality that they've given us all these years.
This has nothing to do with it.
Then this is what I'm trying to tell the general public. I know we don't have a big audience, and that's the devastating part of it. This is why whatever you're saying, what you're saying is inevitable based on look at the level of consciousness. If really people wanted the solution, right, they will be listening to those who are speaking the truth, right? The absolute truth, not just watered down truths.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah, saying the
reactionary
shit that you don't even want to hear.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking about absolute truth. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't agree with the because at the end of the day, we don't have a real vision of what the end is going to be. All our reference points is devastation. All our reference points is there's going to be an apocalyptic type situation.
Well, okay, that's
all we have because this is what we've been told. Now, imagine we just realize our power. If we realize our powers, bro, it's another situation, homie. So
that's going to be good for us.
Huh?
That's going to be good for us each individually, but as a civilization, what we're going to go through as a civilization.
We don't want to save this civilization, though. So
no. Then
we don't want to save it. We don't want to save it.
Then we're watching that. What we want to have, it's in the process of happening.
Well, I understand what you're saying because so many people are emotionally tied to this civilization. A lot of people are invested in this civilization to the point where it's going to be devastating to them.
Well, they need to close.
They're totally invested. They totally invested. They bought into the lie that this is up more mobility and we're going to get out of this recession, and eventually it's going to, you know what I'm saying, balance itself out and shit. So,
we're not going to. Everybody is saying reset. Okay, reset. But what reset? Or who's? Yeah, everybody's saying reset because they know shit is getting ready. There is getting ready to be a major reset on this planet.
And the cool thing about it is, like we've been saying, it's what's going on inside of humanity. This is giving more validity to what I've been saying. It's empowering to know we're in control of this. We are in total control of this whole. So, like I said, if we just see, we always think about the worst case scenario, right? The best case scenario, right? The best case scenario of all of humanity recognize that we are one.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
all of humanity recognize we are one, right? And we attempt to join our faculties, our mental abilities, or not only mental but spiritual abilities, and do something about our situation. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not advocating to think all of this self-destruction because it's not going to happen that way. It's going to happen in a way where it's going to be destruction, but those who chose to keep on vibrating on that low vibrational level.
Well, we're already seeing the destruction. This destruction is already happening. What I'm saying is the destruction that's already happening. I'm going to show you the reason why it is happening and why it's going to accelerate at a level.
The illusion is coming apart. That's why it's happening. The illusion is coming apart.
Yeah, like I said, what's happening out there.
That's another aspect of something waking up inside of us too. So.
Well, there's something inside of us that's bringing some change. And we might be unconscious of it. Some of us are conscious of it. I think you and I are conscious of it, but the average person might not be. But I think they are kind of conscious of it. And it's here, and it's around the sun. And what this thing is doing around the sun is going to make the sun behave in a way that we have never, ever, ever experienced before in the modern history of humanity. But we're getting ready to find out. We're getting ready to go through something that we never, ever been through before and have no clue how we're going to come out on the other side. But however, I believe us people of melanin that activate our melanin and spiritualize our melanin, the darkness, we don't have nothing to worry about because there, no matter what happens, there's only one reality, one true reality, and that's the all. And so this is only just this is Maya. This is not real.
Yes,
but
Maya.
this isn't real. This is a homemade. This is a movie being a homemade movie.
Yes.
And your consciousness is
the projector. I mean, what's perceiving it? What's receiving it?
Yeah, it's perceiving this.
Yeah.
But you know, if we all wake up, we can change the whole movie. We can change it into whatever movie we want it to be.
This is how they made the movie, because they got our collective consciousness under control.
Yeah. Period. Yeah. And so what's happening is an event that's going to completely change that and make things right again.
Well, I think it's going to wake up humanity, but this is how they wake up humanity. They have to shake them out of their comfort zone. And then even then, they're going to still, because it's going to play out where these people have total faith and credit, put total faith and credit into this quasi system and to the end. So after all of that, we're looking like all the devastation going to come and some humans not going to survive, right?
Yeah, and humanity
who survive, who going to be after that survival, the government going to come in. You feel me? With their agenda. This is the whole. They know what's happening. They know what's going to happen. They're going to come in with their agenda right after. And pull all the souls that they can pull that they possibly can to their agenda.
But they might not like what they see when they come back out, though.
No, I don't.
And when they do come back out, when they do come back,
they're preparing. They don't have a clue. They don't have a motherfucking clue, brother. I'm just letting you know. They know a little bit more than the general public. Or they seen a little bit more than the general public, but they still haven't figured this shit all the fuck out.
No, and
they decipher what our ancestors was saying. They're still trying to basically they haven't figured it out. And the reason why is because it's not meant for y'all.
It's meant for our DNA. It's meant for our DNA. Our DNA is going to figure this out. Our DNA is going to tell us, and when it comes online, we're going to change this entire reality.
Once all this stuff start happening, right? And look, a lot of stuff's going to start happening that's going to change our normal perception of reality, and it's going to be like, damn, what the fuck is this? This is what's happening now. People are like, what's these sounds we hearing, and what's this eerie vibration and shit? Everybody feeling it. They feeling it. Don't get it fucked up.
Yeah, we can.
This is where the devastation gonna come in, right? It's where that panic, that people, you know what I'm saying, running out in the street like a chicken with their heads cut off. That's gonna cause so much panic that there's gonna be so much devastation just out of that alone. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not only what the false flag and the what they call them the false flag, the socially are their engineered plots that they're going to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Their false flags they're going to do. They're planning those now. You got to realize that a lot of what, oh my God, it's so intertwined with so many different variations that it's like we can be here all night. We'll be here all night if I were to explain every variation of what's going to happen.
I think the bottom line is what it comes down to. They're going to realize the main thing that's important to us is our survival. They're gonna fucking just run away. Say shit, we out of here. You guys are on your own. The rich is gonna try. Either they're going underground.
They already done that. They already done that, bro. They on the moon right now. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
the moon,
that's safe for them. Yeah, a lot of them on the moon, a lot of them on the ground. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And it's like they watching from that perspective. If that, because they're still looking at it from a 3-dimensional orientation, bro.
No, I think they probably went to Titan. If they're smart, they probably went to Titan.
They can't run from this divine retribution. This divine. This is divine. This is beyond. You know what I'm saying? Their human conception. You know what I'm saying? You can't run from it.
There's no way out. There's no escaping this. There's no escaping. Even on the other side, in the astral realm, whatever war is happening here is happening over there too.
On every level of existence, on every
on every level of existence, the entire omniverse is being shooken.
Yes.
The omniverse, earth, physical and spiritual matrix, and the heavenlies are being shaken right now. Yeah, the heavenlies are being shaken too. The gods are being shaken. Everything.
Let me play this video.
Yep. See that spear right there?
That's right next to the sun.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is January 13th, 2022. Well, folks, I know it's been quite a while since you've actually heard my voice in one of my videos, and I apologize for that. And, number one, I've been super busy, over this past year, and especially over the past 9 months. Things have gone downhill with Dr. Elbers and her health, and I really don't want to get into all of that right now. The censorship on social media, YouTube, Facebook, it's just been pretty bad. And I haven't been posting a lot or making a lot of videos. And I haven't been narrating the videos because of, the things that I'll have to say are topics that are heavily censored on these social media platforms now.
Oh, hell to the no. See? That's what I was afraid of. This bull crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to give them no props for their commercials.
Really helps make your writing clear and concise, no matter where you are.
Well,
With Grammarly on your computer and phone, you always have an expert writing assistant. Land the job with a cover letter that stands out.
Same people on here.
Well, let's just
flawless writing and
skip it.
They got some
inspire your team.
They got some hackers or some not hackers but robots. Some what they call them trolls. We got some trolls, bro.
They're okay. You can't skip it.
And be sure your writing comes across the way you intend.
Can you skip it?
And look, they're actually putting code in here.
And wherever
you feel me? I don't know what is reading, but the code they put in there, they putting the code in there. So we got some trolls.
Okay, can you skip the video?
This has been the game plan all year.
I'm trying to.
It got us to the playoffs.
Okay.
So, I've had to resort to, kind of just showing the evidence and maybe, typing some things in for you folks to read. I have been, steadily keeping up with all of my work every single day. And I am seeing some very, very drastic changes that are occurring on our sun. And they are basically affecting the earth. There are other factors out there that are contributing. And the other day, I just happened to catch the movie 2012 again. And that movie is based on something occurring on the sun that is affecting the earth. And the catastrophes happen thereafter. If all of you want to refresh your memory and either go on YouTube or your local cable company and rent that movie, 2012, with John Cusack, the actor, and I believe Danny Glover, a couple of really good actors and actresses playing the movie. Watch that movie again, because we all know how these movies that are put out there many, many years, sometimes even decades before, are kind of showing us what is entail for the future. Where do they even get these ideas? And then maybe decades later, they all seem to kind of play out. But we'll get into that in a minute. As of lately, and I'm sure probably all of you know from watching maybe other YouTube channels, we've been seeing a lot of activity on the sun. There was a short period where things were kind of, we were at a lull. But now it seems to be picking back up. And just yesterday, several very, very large coronal mass ejections. The day before, very large earthquakes rocking across the globe. I'm not going to get into all the earthquake data and bore all of you to death, but there were two magnitude 6.6 and I think 6.8 in the Aleutian Islands in Alaska. A pretty sizable earthquake right off the coast of New Zealand. I think it was a magnitude 5.7 or 5.8. But this is all starting to occur now. And it seems that we're moving in some cycles where as the earth rotates around the sun,
It's going to get intensified.
and our seasons change, it seems that we get into these cycles where things get pretty rough here on Earth. Earthquake related, weather related. And the more and more I dig into this, and this has been many, many years now, and I've spoken with all of you about the Earth tilt and the Earth wobble. What you're seeing on your screen now is the large coronal mass ejection on the backside of the sun on January 12th. I have some great captures for you that I haven't shown yet.
10 days ago. 9 days ago.
At the end of my speaking here. But this year again.
That's why that big volcano went off.
And I don't know, where each and every one of you that are viewing this video, where you exactly live. But where I live on the east coast of the United States in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, each and every year since 2015, I have noticed slight changes in our seasons.
Yep.
How they come in, meaning when they begin, when they end, when they change. And every year, every year since 2015, the day after Christmas, the temperature here in the Pittsburgh area has been at or above 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Once again, this year, 2021, temperature 62 degrees. How is that even possible? And then we get into some of these key words that are heavily censored, such as, global warming, climate change, blah. That's what it's all being disguised as. Those two words that I just mentioned, global warming, climate change.
Okay, so now, when they mention that, now we can go into the metaphysical aspects of all of these changes the suns are going through. That sun is just a representation of the soul. So it's a reflection of the soul. So are you really looking at is your soul that is expressing itself and is manifesting itself as a sun?
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, but he's going to show you something else. There's something else orbiting around the sun.
There have been multiple things orbiting this solar system in the past, ever since 2000.
Well, this thing's been orbiting around the sun for a long time.
They also have this big asteroid that they say is coming towards us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was coming towards us, and that motherfucker just stopped.
Yeah, well, that's an intelligence.
Huh?
That's an intelligence.
Of course. But this is my point is we have a number of different objects that's entering our solar system.
Oh yeah, we have a bunch of things. There's things on the Saturn rings of Saturn, all kind of shit. But this thing, it's not just one of them. It's a whole bunch of them.
Right. It's like an armada of wheel within wheels.
It's like a sun with a bunch of planets orbiting around it. A brown dwarf with a bunch of satellites around it, like an atom with the whatchamajigs orbiting around it.
Right.
That might be an aspect of that. Sounds like something that is outside of our regular human consciousness and is from that other faculty, and we're using that other faculty, we're using this thing through that other faculty to change the entire solar system.
So it's the primordial forces.
You can say it's another sun. The sun is like a representation of Yaldabaoth. But this sun, it might be smaller, but it might have more mass. I mean, it might be just as massive. Well, this thing, now I don't think it has more mass as the sun, but this thing, I don't know. This thing has a lot of mass. And based on how much mass it is, or how much mass it has, that will definitely determine how it will affect the sun as the sun goes through this grand solar maximum. And however it affects the sun will determine how the sun will affect every planet.
If we looking at it from what we have been convinced as what the the principles of the physical reality, the properties of physical reality is, that's the determiner, bro. Is what I'm trying to
Well,
tell you.
this might be our liberator. This could be our liberator.
I'm not denying that, but what I'm saying is we're going to fight against the liberator in even our psychic vibration, our psychic activities, because our reference points have been given to us by the ones have been harnessing our energy for a long time.
Well, I kind of I have some other news for you. I know I can speak from experience that my energy is being used on the side of this object. In other words, in my rituals, out of clay, I made my own version of this thing, and I'm piloting it, or I kind of like I'm using this thing as a sort of like a battering ram to destroy the third density, or to completely transcend the third density into something else higher.
Right.
Yeah. In other words, I feel I have, not only me, but there might be others like me that have spiritual access to this thing out there orbiting the sun.
Something similar to what is it called? Heaven's Gate Coke was talking about.
Oh, this is far deeper than that, man. Far deeper than that. I don't even know how to explain this. I do know how to explain it, but I just really don't.
You just explained it. You say you got some type of connection with the object that's hovering the goddamn sun right now.
In other words, I felt, well, I think, yeah, I believe that spiritually, some of us have a connection with this thing, or spiritually brought this thing here, or this thing manifested us here, or something. I think this thing has something.
It's both ways. Both ways. It goes both ways. It's both ways. Because it not only did it manifest, we manifested it, and manifested us to realize itself, it's being there.
I think it's sort of like a collectiveness of macabres, or a giant super macabre.
So those are souls out there those are souls out there that are in conscious unity.
Shit, those could be the souls of all the niggas that they killed on this planet.
Wow.
That could be our extraterrestrial army, dude. That's probably there for us to gain access to.
Do you honestly think that they occur so rapidly in the course of 5 or 6 years? I don't think so. So there's another factor. And I've been researching that factor for a very, very long time. To me, after watching that movie 2012, it just popped in my head. So what would cause the seasons to change? Well, here in my area, fall did not come till about the middle of November. The grass was still green. There were still leaves on the trees. The temperatures were fantastic. Where did fall go? And then we moved into wintertime. I remember growing up here in the Pittsburgh area as a kid. In the early 1970s, in the 1980s as a teenager, the weather absolutely sucked. We had constant snowfall, all lake effect snow coming down from the Great Lakes across the region, frigid temperatures.
Listen, I'd rather just look at that sun pushing out that radiant energy.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? And we go into, instead of listening to him babble.
Oh, well, he's babbling right now, but he's gonna start getting into some science here. Start talking some stuff. It's just that he knows a lot. He knows something, man. And he's hoping that what he knows, he's hoping that he's wrong.
If he doesn't know himself, he doesn't know nothing. And when you know yourself, really, really, really know yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about sitting back observing what's going on around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about observing what's going on inside of you. And
well,
how what's going on inside of you affects your general reality. So here we go again. Here we go again. People would rather observe what's going on and opposed to controlling it within and working from a within state to allow it to manifest outside. See, we've been working outwardly so much outwardly, and we're attracting all of those lower vibrational demons. So they're playing off our insecurities.
Well, some of us has been working inwardly, and now we're seeing the fruit of our works.
Not enough. It's not enough. It's not
It's
enough.
not enough.
It's not enough. And at this point, it's like all we're really looking at is the fact that all of these people who are not doing their inner work are manifesting these demons now. They're manifesting this. They're manifesting whatever devastation that's coming about.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people are not willing to go within and face the darkness and the demons within. So it's gonna manifest itself. That's why I like that movie. Candyman, because Candyman was nothing more than a manifestation of those people's psyche, those people's thought.
Okay. Well, let's listen to some more of this though. This is letting us know what's getting ready to happen.
By the way, I had this set up so you guys know what movie I'm talking about. It's the movie 2012.
I don't agree.
Not to be.
You don't agree?
Hell no. This is not telling us what's going to happen.
End of the world and doomsday.
How are they going to tell us what's going to happen?
2012.
No, what's happening? Why we're having all these disasters? Why we're having?
We all know what's happening. The vibration is higher.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the vibration. That's so. Of course, the physical reality is going to be unstable.
Okay, well, let him show you this orbit. Okay, she's gonna break this table down. He's gonna show you where the Earth is and where the sun is, and how we're lined up with both of the stars.
This Earth is built. I've talked about this, man, I don't even know how many times. Okay. We all know that the Earth's North Pole and South Pole axes point to the North Star, Polaris, and I forget the name of the other star in the south. I have it on a diagram that I'm going to show you guys. Okay, but that only tilts the Earth in one direction, therefore giving us our seasons. Okay? And there was something I wanted to show you guys. Where was it? Okay, this is the diagram that I'm going to show you guys, but I've added some things to it. It says that this tilt in Earth's axis is what is responsible for seasonal changes during the course of a year. When the North Pole is pointed towards the sun, the Northern Hemisphere experiences summer and the Southern Hemisphere experiences winter. When the South Pole is pointed towards the sun, 6 months later, the situation is reversed. Okay, well, during these seasonal changes between the two hemispheres, over the course of the last couple of years, we've all seen the extreme weather changes in the Northern Hemisphere and in the Southern Hemisphere. When it's summertime in the Southern Hemisphere, we've seen the massive heat up, especially in the country of Australia, because there's not that much land mass in the Southern Hemisphere as there is in the Northern Hemisphere. And it seems like Australia has been taking the brunt of it during their summertime. And their wintertime is getting colder also.
What is he saying right now that we're not familiar with already?
Well, he's going to show you. You have to let him continue on. He's going to show you. He's going to put in there an orbit around the sun. He's going to show you. Yeah, that right there. Yeah, that right. Yeah.
As the sun rotates around from now.
Oh yeah, to say because he's babbling. I'm like, what the hell?
Mucked up photographs using, I don't know, like Microsoft Paint and some of those other programs.
Oh, let me go back a little bit more.
That are.
But he's still babbling.
Okay, but you see this orbit around the sun. This thing that's orbiting.
So that's another vibratory level of that's another vibratory level right there.
Yeah, that's Planet X. That's a Planet X body or something. We don't know what it is.
Right.
Okay.
That's a result of another higher vibratory level being expressed. It's like heaven come down to earth type situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's
that wobble, which has changed my weather where I live. It's very strange being here in Pittsburgh, where I grew up, and walking outside on Christmas Day and the day after Christmas, and it's 62 degrees.
Man, this is stuff that we was talking about in the 90s.
But he's babbling. But he's babbling now, but he's going to get on some science. He's going to throw it down.
It's weird. Doesn't make sense. And it's alarming. Now, I'm not saying that the Earth's going to flip over and, we'll have all this crustal displacement. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is we have a very, very large influence out there orbiting our sun, and I have shown everybody the evidence year after year after year after year. And thank God that I've been able to adapt and get some help with technology to bring these images in even more clearer than have ever been seen. And speaking of the images, there's a few YouTube channels out there that are kind of, they're doctoring some images, and they're trying to make their images look like mine, but they're complete fakes.
Oh my God!
Because
you can skip that.
No way in
what
hell.
What the fuck are you talking about? You don't get credibility for shit that you just see in the goddamn
because
sky?
of these changes.
Yeah.
You trying to claim
the
British?
weather.
Oh, I discovered it first. I seen it first.
Well, let them get into these
Fine.
changes.
These seasonal changes is what's alarming to me. So what do things look like 5 years from now? Maybe all of the solstices, the winter solstice, the spring, the summer, the fall, maybe they all change. Yes, the Earth's axis will point to Polaris and Sigma. That maybe won't change. Hopefully it doesn't, because that would be catastrophic. But what is changing is the Earth's wobble around the sun. So one complete wobble takes 365 days. We're not talking about the Earth's rotation. We're talking about the Earth wobbling on its axis. So as the sun rotates around the sun in the course of 365 days, it is wobbling on its axis. That wobble is becoming more and more acute. Its angle is becoming more acute. So, for instance, at this time of year, we're in January, we had our first little snowfall a couple days ago. Wasn't much, 2.5, 3 inches. Right after that, the next day, it was 42 degrees, all the snow melted, all the rivers, rose, and we barely missed a major flooding event. So again, the question, how is that all possible? In January, in Pittsburgh, in the East Coast, super moderate temperatures. But it's just not here in the United States. It's happening over in Europe also, because they're right across the pond from us. Right now, the temperature in London is 41 degrees Fahrenheit.
Burn, baby,
The same
burn.
in southern Norway and Sweden.
Burn, baby,
The
burn.
temperature,
Phoenix rise
moderate 40
in
degrees
cinders.
Fahrenheit. Yeah. Iceland right now. Iceland. Hence the name. 19 degrees. Only. That's it.
It's a hot day in Iceland.
So, I've been, working on this theory for quite some time. Some days it baffles me. Some days I question it all. But there's one thing that is a fact, is that these seasons are changing so rapidly, and it's becoming so acute that you just cannot ignore.
Great leaders aren't
man,
born; they're made.
Next
through
time,
hours.
bro, just cuties, because these are
Yeah.
they get annoying after a while. But
Yeah. Yeah. But
next time, look at it and cue it, man, because at the end of the day, he's not talking about nothing I don't know about already. What has he said? He has not said nothing that I should listen to his ass say that I've heard already. I didn't hear nothing yet.
Well, he's showing you the orbit of some new body out there.
I know about that already.
You know about this body that's orbiting the sun?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy because that's old news right there.
It is?
Hell yeah.
You don't hear about this in the news no more or anywhere. No, nobody. I don't see nobody showing you these spears. He's the only one that's showing you these spears out there.
No, brother. That's old news, bro. There has been something orbiting coming into this solar system, and there have been observing objects around.
No,
the
this
sun
is affecting the sun
ever since 2000, bro. This is old news, bro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've been following this since then too. But now he's giving you, like, keeping us like updated, because we're going into a grand solar maximum.
Which metaphysically, what does it mean? Is all I'm worried about. I don't.
Well, grand solar maximum means
level, we already know. Like, if we observing it from the modern physics,
nobody knows what not everybody knows what a grand solar maximum is and what that means. That means the sun is going to be more active. And so if you have this orb out there that's affecting the sun, that's pulling plasma off of it, causing it to give off great explosions now, as it's in the beginning up stages of the grand solar maximum. And while it was at the ending of the grand solar minimum, then that means the next 5 years is going to be a motherfucker on this planet. That means the sun is we're going to get hit directly by a CME. And the last time that happened was like 18 something. And we only had telegrams then, the telegraph. And it fried the fuck out of those. So imagine when that happens now with this grid. All I can say, man, get your house in order, because the electricity, the lights are going to be going out in the next 5 years. We're not going to have no grid in the next 5 years.
This is the whole victory, brother. Love it. This is the victory dance. We doing the victory dance, man. Yeah.
Well, I said. Yeah. Well, didn't I say that,
man? Yeah. Destroy that motherfucker. Why? Because now we're gonna have to usher in free energy. Gonna have to now.
Free energy. So we can usher in a whole nother dimension.
No doubt.
We can usher in a whole new
gradual though. It's gradual. This shit could take over 1,000 years before we ever reach the level where we are the next root race.
Yeah. Shit, it can take longer than that.
So it's like, it's a gradual thing. So if we already have memory, all we would do is preserve the memory in some type of way for the next generation to, you know what I'm saying, pull up so they can continue to work. You know what I'm saying? See, this is the problem. The problem is people are so glamour into their physical existence. It's a glamour. You are emotionally attached to your humanity, and it's hard for you to accept that there's something beyond humanity that we're going into.
Yes, we know that. So the solution is now, let's get people ready for the subplanes, because Kansas is going bye-bye. This is going bye-bye.
Yeah.
And so after this goes bye-bye.
Listen, that's the whole point of this show.
Yeah, then it's going to be the subplanes. Yeah, and that goes bye-bye too. Yeah, and that's going to go bye-bye too. And then what's going to be after that?
You don't master. This is why I really think of this as a self-mastery show, where we actually give some of the keys to master yourself. One of the major keys is not to allow yourself to get caught up in the glamour and the temptation and the emotional. You're supposed to control all of those things. So why would you allow yourself to be influenced by it? Those are all slaves to you. Your thoughts are a slave to you. Your emotions are a slave to you. They're a slave to you. Once you start making them the master, they control it controls you.
Okay. Well, I'm seeing it from another perspective, though.
What perspective? Explain.
Well, I told you that I told you what my view was on those spirits that are out there by the sun, right?
Okay.
It's something that I embrace. It's something that I feel I have some type of spiritual connection with. So if I'm feeling that, then it's only obvious what they're here for. They're here to change things.
Okay, that doesn't conflict with what I said, though.
No, it doesn't conflict with what you said. No, it goes, yeah, I'm already, which means I'm in accordance with what you're saying.
Okay.
So, okay. So, but the other stuff is irrelevant, though. So now, so the next point is that, okay.
Okay, let's go. Let's
Now,
go into what else is irrelevant, brother. Physical death is irrelevant.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. But okay,
okay.
What's relevant is getting.
What I'm saying is let's prioritize, right?
Oh yeah,
this is mental alchemy, brother. We doing.
Oh well, okay. Since you want to put it that way, yeah, we can be straightforward. Yeah, none of this shit is over. This shit is fucking over.
What was you? You felt? No, I thought that's the whole point of this show. We never going back a lower vibration than we started on.
No, we're going up.
Staying on that vibration.
Yeah, we've been working on this for the longest. And so what we're seeing happening now is only what we expect to be happening. The breaking, the complete.
My point exactly. My point exactly. We are the ones who would see the future and actually put ourselves in a position to overcome whatever we saw the future as.
It's not even overcoming.
Overcome it from a physical sense, because this, you have to realize that we have transcended all of when we're speaking. It's not to orientate you to some materialism, not to orientate you to some superficial, shallow thinking.
Yeah.
No, we're challenging everyone to think beyond that, to even perceive beyond that, to realize your other faculties of realization.
You don't die. Your personality, even that, your personality, all of that, your essence can wake up with you on the subplanes. And even if we do end up on the subplanes, some of us are going to end up on the higher subplanes. Man, some of us
why would you want to preserve the fake side of yourself, which is your personality, a persona? That's just a fake aspect of who you actually are, just so you can relate and interact on this level.
Well, actually, manifestation is an illusion. Period.
So my point is, why are we so fixated on attempting to preserve that?
No, we're not fixated on
that person. Fuck that person.
We're not fixated on that.
The illusion that didn't exist.
No, we're here to prepare people for the inevitable.
Oh yeah, it's inevitable. So embrace it.
Yeah, so we're here. That's all I'm trying to do is help get people prepared for what's coming. That's all, man.
Embrace it.
Okay.
Don't come from it. We can control the perspective from which we receive and process things. We can control that.
Well, we can until the shit starts happening to us. I don't know. We don't know.
Even when it's happening to you, that's the main point of when you're supposed to be applying your perception over your own, your control over your own perception.
Well, I can't argue with you on that.
Control it, because if you allow what you have been convinced, if you allow what have you been convinced as being your main reference points going into this next vibration, you're not going to go into the next vibration.
Well, you got a point. I can't argue with you on that. You are so right.
We have to get to the point where we challenge everything we've been told. If you have, why are you here? If you haven't got to that point yet, if you haven't challenged everything you've been told at this point and questioned it to the point where now you have a literal clairvoyance level.
Well, you know what? If you, any one of you out there that have come this close to death, that have faced death and trauma, then you already know. And you lived, but you didn't think you were going to live, but you did live, but you did end up going through the trauma.
That's a great experience. You need to embrace that.
Well, I had that experience.
Oh my God, you are.
I had that experience.
Your spirit is so powerful right now. Wow.
I had that experience. I kissed, me and Death, we looked each other in the eye and kissed, and she walked away without me, left me there by myself.
Right.
Yeah. And I just wanted her to come back so bad. But she said no.
It wasn't the time, brother.
It wasn't my time.
You told her to back the fuck off. Period. I mean, look. I
was ready for
it. People think I'm egotistical when I'm saying this, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. It's the fact that this is a level of responsibility you have. I'm giving you your responsibility back. And you looking at it though, I'm just so egotistical. No, I'm giving you your responsibility back.
Well, we're all about to face that trauma and that. We're all about to face that together.
We all have to. We have to. This is something that, like you said, is inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not nothing that we should shun. It's not nothing that we should attempt to avoid.
Escape. Avoid. No, there's no avoiding.
Attempt to avoid in the sense of trying
embrace this. Find yourself. Embrace this. Embrace the darkness.
This is the greatest way to define who you are, who you actually are. Because right now you're never going to know who you are. But when this stuff happens, when this great calamity happens, man, you're going to find out who you really, really, really are.
Yeah. And what you're not.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not going to matter about the other person, although you hope the best for each one. But
everybody's on their own path, and I hope to see everybody on that level of darkness, on, you know what I'm saying, and moving to other higher levels of darkness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say. This is, and other than that, you're going to, you know what I'm saying, be perpetuating this.
You're gonna end up on lower. You're gonna end up on lower.
Illusion. Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, let me read this article before I get the end this show, because I gotta get to my other show.
Yep.
I'm gonna read this article right quick. Right? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read this article.
I just can't respond.
I'm reading it on another screen right now. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't respond. I'm coughing.
Oh, no doubt.
I got the green COVID. Oop, I said the bad word. Oh, okay, Facebook, don't get me.
This is exactly what I mean right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are going to fight to stay in this condition that we in, because they're emotionally attached to this shit, right? And that's the transition that no one is able to make, and they're going to make a lot of bad decisions, and that's where a lot of the tragedy is going to come from. They don't want to embrace the transition. They don't want. If you embrace the transition, you will try to get your mind, your spirit, and your mind on a higher vibration, so that you can make the transition with the whole vibrational level that we going into. But
they're gonna end up like homie on Jacob's Ladder. He died in Vietnam, but he didn't know he was already dead. He was fighting to stay alive, but he was dead. And
that's purgatory. That's purgatory.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is because you got to figure it out. You got to realize that because what was the main thing on the American God show that was very pertinent when old girl went into purgatory is they gave her a brochure and said, accept the reality. And oh my God, that was it right there for me. They let me know right there. Accept the reality. And it's playing into I've been telling people the disempowerment that they give us. They disempower us.
Oh, when you study the Book of the Dead, and when you watch some videos on the I forget what they call that, but when you cross over, everything you see is only a projection in your own mind.
Exactly. And once you realize that, you can get to the level where you master it. You can master death.
Yeah, you can master that. And if you master that, you can master this entire evolutionary path and cycle that our souls are on. And you can project higher qualities to the soul. So it can take those higher qualities on with it in this journey beyond this life and this personality. Because this person.
Right quick though, we got
okay.
The hell of humanity. Your immortal soul is trapped in a lower vibrational holographic illusion we call the material world and the human body. In this perspective concept, the Lucifer that falls from heaven is the illuminated soul of the original man falling from higher vibrational circumstances of the spiritual.
Yeah, that's coming in from unconscious unity into consciousness and separation and duality, and falling deeper and deeper into matter.
Right. Astral mental realms into the crystallization of material circumstances as a human.
Yeah.
Heaven is a mental circumstance. Hell is hold up. Heaven is a mental circumstance. Hell is a physical circumstance. It has been suggested by even the earliest civilizations who studied occult science that became a human. That becoming a human is a necessary blessing, but rather a wretched and repeated condition that it must be overcame and conquered. It must be overcame and conquered. This is what I mean by mastering this. Mastering. This is my whole point: is how are we mastering ourselves? Because if you ain't mastering yourself, you're going to purgatory.
You're not going deep. You're not going into the darkness. You're not going deep inside. You're not going within.
Exactly.
You're stuck in the glamour.
Inside, that means that's a meditation. That's a level of realization that you're doing.
But see, what you got to understand, manifestation, or what we consider life, is only a meditation in the mind of the all, period.
Of course. So that's the whole self-realization that you are the all, though.
Yeah.
That's the self-realization.
So we have to participate in the meditation
Right.
or
Okay, but
which is only, you know, is not as a job or as a a, a chore, but like a pilot piloting a very sophisticated aircraft instead of being a passenger or a bystander.
this is my whole point of empowerment. We are the programmers. How are we
Yeah,
allowing ourselves to be programmed?
yeah. You're
If
either
we
a
are the
pilot.
creators, if we are the creators, how are we falling into some creation then?
Exactly.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we're the creators, right? Okay, so let me read further. This means
Mm-hmm.
that we are allowed to achieve the particular transformation of our own soul that will allow us to keep up with the progressive evolution of everything in the universe. So this is what it means by if the universe is higher in its vibration, what you gonna do? Sit here crying? Oh, the end of the world! Ah, yeah, no higher vibration. Let's get a higher vibration.
Yeah, change your fucking vibration.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, you won't be a part of the end. You'll transcend into the next Brahma,
Right.
the next creation.
That the transformation that must achieve apparently is only possible with completely encapsulated by crystallized matter, like a
Well, well, you hit the hammer on the head, and the hammer on the head, or the hammer on the nail, with your picture of the three gods on the soul cycle with Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva.
right, right,
The creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer,
right,
happening.
and also that's the cognitor, the cognitine, the
Mhm.
cognitent.
Yeah, the knower, the known, and
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 that's the
and the
transition stage
knowledge.
of the darkness. That's beyond consciousness.
Hmm.
So if you're trying to grasp this just on a level of consciousness, it's I'm sorry, I'm so sorry for you. Okay.
Yeah, this isn't for the babies. Shit, I mean, this is not easy for me.
I mean, this is for the babies. What are you talking about? This is
Well,
for the babies. The
no,
baby,
this is
the baby's supposed to look. The baby's supposed to come in advance and already know this shit right here, bro. This ain't
yeah. Well, they have a saying: the milk is for babies, and meat is for you know. This is the meat.
these generational babies. These babies now, they
Yeah.
are vibrating on such a high level that they need to know this right here.
Oh well, then they meat eaters. They need spiritual meat.
Okay, let me continue the article. Okay. For the soul that never evolves, reincarnates is inevitable. The point is to graduate, not to repeat the same level over and 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 over.
I know.
I'm not coming back no more. Been here before. Y'all not getting the Tina Marie song?
Yeah, well, you really can't say that, because you might give up your spot in Diva Chan to come back down to be a great teacher to
That's
raise the
bro.
vibratory.
You can project. Look, that's not necessarily you when you evolved on other levels, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
project yourself down here in multi-dimension. You've reached that level where now you are actually with the all, so you are multi-present. I can
That's when you go
project
to
myself
Nirvana.
here and be here at the same time.
Well, there's no place that you aren't.
Exactly. So when you you're not just you're not just going through reincarnation and not realizing,
but
oh, I'm
but
again.
at the
I gotta
same
go through this
token,
shit again. No, you've advanced beyond that now. You
yeah,
projected you projected a part of yourself down here to reincarnate.
well, yeah, exactly. Not only that, you can project 5 or 6
Exactly.
emanations of
Exactly.
yourself.
So now, see, now you get it. We are the all.
We
We
already
are
got
the all.
it. We already got, yeah.
We already do it. See? Okay.
We already know this shit, man.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes we gotta pretend like we don't. I don't know.
Exactly.
Or
We gotta come once we realize it over and over again, though. What happens is because it's like an oscillating force, right? Going over and over again, right? Every time once you go up, like the Brahma, the Brahma, the flower of Brahma, right? Going through those cycles over and over again, right? That energy is generating that fucking vibrational energy that's so powerful, bro.
Yeah, because you got to go into the unknown, you got to give up all knowing. You got to give up all knowledge.
This is why you come back and you got to remember this shit again.
Yeah,
you got to remember this shit because you give it up and then what you do is it's so variant in its understanding. This is why you can't conceive it in human thinking. You can't. It's impossible. We can try to describe it. We can try to articulate it.
Yeah, well,
best of our abilities.
And we're still not hitting the hammer on the nail. We can't. It's absolutely impossible. We can only Blavatsky came up with certain terms that she were able to use to apply that were sort of correct. But at the same token, she's also said that there isn't anything that's correct, because what might seem correct now, you can come back later on and it's not correct. And you have to continue to build on top of that, because this shit is infinite and we're finite, and you cannot describe the infinite in the finite.
When we are entertaining these lower vibrational intelligence trying to appear to be able to grasp these higher levels of intelligence, though, this is where you get that from.
Yeah. Now, at the same token, though, like I said, there is the higher Manus, the higher lower Manus, which is attracted to the upper mental Manus or mind, and so yeah, and from that relation, yeah, you can get channels. You can get
there is a perception beyond perception, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm reaching. That's what I'm trying to reach, bro.
Well, then that's the connection. You have to connect with the higher Manus, or the mental realm. You have to go into there and leave everything down that you are down here. You have to go there as an unborn creature, as an unborn soul.
I have to meditate a lot more.
Yeah, I do too. It's a lot of shit I have to work on.
I mean, to a point where now I have to be a regimen. Like I have to, just like I put my exercise in my schedule. I got to put my meditations in my schedule now.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that one. And
let me continue to read this article.
And at the same token, like our partnership that we have, what the shit that we discuss is not something that you talk about with every person that you meet out there. So this isn't something.
You told me that, but I don't know. You told me that.
Unless you, yeah, I guess I have to talk.
I don't follow the rules, man.
I guess I have to talk to more
people.
Well,
I allow them. I don't allow them to. You know what I'm saying? Ask me about it in their own little. If they ask me about it, now I don't just come out and talk to people about it. But if they ask
still,
me about it, if we put it like this, I endured someone talking to me about the Bible from their lower vibrational perspective of the Bible. Right? I endured it. I allowed them to talk to me and tell me their perspective on it, what they believe, their convictions, and all that stuff. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But in the back of my head, I be wanting to be like, man, listen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, well, man, listen. Fuck all that. What you talking about, right? No.
Yeah,
I hold my breath unless they enter in and try to, you know what I'm saying. But other than that, I hold my breath. But if they give me any interest in give me any indication that they have an interest in the mystical, then that's why I have to get them.
Well, at this point now, that's almost not too relevant like it used to be, because I need to spend more time in doing the work for my own self now and getting the results, or being aware of the results that are coming in and analyzing that. I mean, I feel like there's a lot that I need to be doing that I'm not doing. And so I don't have the time to really be focusing on a lot of stuff that's out there, but it's out there and I'm here. So
number one meditation, bro, is what we talk about all the time, is how we challenge all of what we've been convinced of what is reality. That's the main meditation you be on all the time, constantly, because you're going to be bombarded with being convinced and being drawn back into, okay, physical reality it feels good. This is the constant soul work that's being done, because all of us are tempted by this cardinal lower vibrational reality. All of us are, right?
Well,
the thing is that it's like you are in the control seat. If you allow it to control you, then that's where you step out of the driver's seat.
Oh yeah, you got to stay in the driver's seat. Now you can still use it as one of your servants. You can have many servants.
They're all slaves to you.
Yeah, you got to keep them as servants and not become their servant.
So this is what I'm saying. It's like, it's all in moderation. Of course, we can enjoy the physical reality. We've already discussed this. But it's all in moderation. The mantra is to continue to to give yourself the self-realization that this is all a motherfucking illusion. That's the meditation. Meditation. This is not real. This is a figment of my primordial essence.
So don't take yourself too serious.
It's not only just not take it so serious, it's don't allow it to pull me down through my lower vibrational self-esteem issues, and you feel me? You have to face these things.
Yeah, that can be tough sometimes.
Themselves. They have these lower self-esteem issues, right? They have this issues going on within.
Well, you see,
before you have this self-realization moment.
Well, see,
these things.
That's where the feminine half comes in. She's the one that's going to filter that out in you.
Well,
She's going to be the one.
brother, listen.
Mm-hmm.
We are all both feminine and masculine.
Yes.
We all have it. So my thing is that's all going on inside of you already.
Yeah,
You
but
you always got the Shakti energy with you. You always got her.
Yeah, you always got it with you, but when it manifests, when that Shakti energy within is manifested without in the form of another.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with you. But it's like y'all have to be in synchronicity on a spiritual level and a synchronicity with recognition of the soul work.
Well, yeah, that takes time because sometimes we manifest something, we manifest shit that's dictated more towards our ego.
See, and I love that you're saying we manifest. It's like that's an empowering statement. Because whatever your reality is, you manifest it.
Yes, we manifest.
It ain't like circumstances are in control of things. You are. It's like people are allowing the circumstances to control them instead of controlling the circumstances.
Well, yeah, that's only an illusion because each one of us we're all still gods and goddesses. And we all create.
Right.
We all create our heavens and our hells.
Right. I would say order out of chaos beings because we are a part of the primordial. We predate the gods.
Yeah, we're these special high beings, and then there are some of us that willingly or not knowingly give up our power to others to rule over us. That's
a part of the illusion.
Yeah,
that's why the 42 laws of Ma'at are very important because it literally deprograms you from the illusion.
Well,
it literally deprograms you.
Well, that's some powerful stuff. That's probably not so appealing, to the senses, but for the higher self, it's very, very vital. But for the lower self, it could be poisonous.
Okay, let me read the rest of this article, bro, so we can go.
Okay.
This is still in the 5th grade for 100,000 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like coming back, reincarnating, coming back, reincarnating, to being like in 5th grade for 100,000 years.
Okay.
Okay, whether you realize it or not, one of the primary causes of the major frustration is that you are, in essence, an immortal soul stuck in finite material prison called the physical body or the human body.
Yeah.
Within a even greater illusion known as the substantial world, the substantial world, right? The substantial universe. The real you is not the body nor the brain, but rather the mind that controls the brain and the body. So, and I disagree with that. The soul. So the real you is doing a life sentence as a human being. To take it a step further, science has proven that matter is not as real as we like to think. On a subatomic level, things no longer appear solid. In fact, some scientists would say matter does not exist, but rather the appearance of matter exists when observed collapses the interactive quantum wave field of the universe into a physical particle with a defined state.
Okay.
Once again, confirming that your mind is the foundation of your body, but not the other way around. Look at our children resist the limitations and boundaries of humanity. Look at the children's. They always trying to defy it because they haven't been orientated to the bullshit yet.
Yeah.
Children resisting the limitations and boundaries of humanity should tell you that in the beginning, our natural circumstance was to explore with freedom. Before being bound as a human, our souls were not bound to physical circumstances and countless boundaries. And this basically what they're saying is we're multidimensional right now. But
yeah, it's just
we bounded ourselves to humanity.
So we're inside, we're out, inside out.
Right.
So we're outside in, or what used to be outside the spiritual is now inside.
Reverse nature. Anomaly.
Yeah, so we have to do the opposite. And a lot of people are afraid of that.
And this is my whole point. This is why we are not popular. This is why I'm not popular, because I've been on this for over 20 years now. We need to challenge everything we've been convinced of. The circumstances of this even present now, non-physical reality can be described a universal quantum entanglement. So before we came here, we could be in many places at the same and travel instantaneously from one place to another.
Yeah, we're entangled in this bullshit, so we.
This is what I'm talking about, the empowerment right here, bro.
Yeah, so we canceled ourselves.
Right.
From we unentangled ourselves from all the shit that we should be entangled to just be entangled into this shit.
It's all in our minds. We doing it to ourselves.
Our soul, for some reason, our soul feels.
Correct that. It's all in our minds, our heart, and our spirit. Because we're solidifying this reality. We're literally solidifying this reality right now. We all collectively are solidifying this reality. Why? Because in our minds, we agree. In our hearts, we agree. In our spirit, we agree.
Well, if we could wake up the sleeper, the dreamer, and get the dreamer to become aware, conscious, then I think all of this goes away.
I would say unaware. I would say in the darkness, they realize they don't know. This is where you get self-realization, when you realize I don't know a damn thing and I need to go within. Darkness. Okay.
But in the darkness is where I do. It's where I do find the light.
You are the light and the darkness at the same time.
Yeah, I'm the reflection.
What light are you trying to find? You're trying to find yourself.
Well,
masters of the universe. The universe. You master the
universe. I'm trying to go back into the darkness, aware of self, and not only self, but I am, and I am, I am, I am, I know that I am, and I am one with the all.
Right. Let me finish this article. Utilizing universal quantum entanglement like fishes in the water, right? Except the fish, except the sea, I, I'm talking about. I'm talking about it not physical. It it's not physical with a much higher vibrational circumstance, right? So now, as a human, under the illusion of the material world, we experience the realities of mortal. We experience the reality of mortal. We put we get old. We get hurt. We require maintenance. We have limitations.
Yeah, those called conditions.
Okay, this
We,
this is hell. This is hell.
well, yeah, well, this is conditions exist outside of the all, okay, which is called evolution. It's just that this section of evolution has been count quarantined because of the demiurge. Because the demiurge separated itself from the rest of the creation. It took this creation hostage.
It convinced the all spark of separation and duality.
Yeah, it barricaded itself in this creation and barricaded this creation apart from the original creation.
So the demiurge can't even exist without the all spark.
No, it cannot exist without the all. In fact, the demiurge is the all. It is an expression or an aspect of the all in its very, very immature stage.
Okay.
But the demiurge is something that will get better and better and better as time goes on.
To be infinite, to be infinite, infinite, to be infinite, infinite, to be an infinite soul trapped in a crystallized physical reality is like being burnt alive, conscious of your encapsulation. That's kind of how I feel sometimes too. To be clear, I'm not suggesting that since humanity is hell, people should go out and start committing suicide. That will be contrary to the fucking purpose if you do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Yeah, because
It will be, what was the purpose? You stupid. You just didn't realize you were supposed to realize some shit. It would be
what
contrary to commit suicide.
we're supposed to come into conscious awareness of our unity right here, right now, even though we are in the illusion of separation. We supposed to rise above the illusion of separation.
That we would be wasted because then we had to reincarnate over again to achieve the necessary evolution to escape the material physical prison permanently. What I am saying is that your primary what I'm saying is your primary priority should be the evolution and the transformation of your soul. This is what I've been just said. It's like you get caught up in this world. Everybody get caught up in this shit sometimes. But the meditation is this is not real. This is some bullshit. I'm a higher spiritual. I'm part of something that predates all of this.
Yeah, and not only that, but
that's a mantra.
But not only that, but I'm gonna go to a dimension higher than this. And that dimension is only going to be an emanation of another emanation of another emanation of another
where
emanation.
I don't even exist, and that's not even a part of who I perceive or even conceive myself as.
I truly exist in the 0 point,
right,
which is where I never left, and I'm not there at the same time.
Okay. What I am saying is that the primary priority should be the evolution and transformation of your soul, raising yourself into a high enough vibration to overcome the circumstances of physical and graduate to a more supreme version of self. So this just means astral projecting. This just means meditation. This just means being able to do what they call is clairvoyance, where you know what I'm saying, you can step beyond just normal conscious reception or perception and stuff. This is
Yes.
all these practices, all this stuff that they tell you is not possible. This is what I mean by questioning reality and going against whatever they convinced you that it's not possible.
Right. I get that part.
Right.
I
So,
get that 100%. I mean,
okay,
I can't. I'm not even going to try to make that better.
It says the ancient Egyptians said, "Keep your heart light as a feather."
Right.
Keep your heart light as a feather. Light
Yeah.
as a feather.
Yeah. It's in order to do that, you always have to stay into the realization that no matter how real this shit seems here, in the grand scheme of things, this isn't the world of the real. This is the world of the unreal.
And don't hold on to this shit.
No.
Because that's holding you down. That's holding your vibration down. You're not going to vibrate beyond this shit if you're holding on to that.
In the world of the...
That's part of what we mean by hiring your vibration. You have to let this shit go.
In the world of the...
It's heavy on you. It's heavy on your heart.
Yeah. But to beings that are in the world of the unreal, the world of the unreal does appear real. Even though those beings are not real themselves.
Look, I'm not taking away nobody's journey. Everybody has to figure it out. Period. You're going to have to figure it out. Even if you got to come back, reincarnate again, you're going to have to figure it out.
Absolutely. And karma is your teacher.
And look, this means do not allow the illusionary material world to slow down the vibration of your mind by making your heart heavy and worried, doubting, fear, and attachments. Oh, my money, I can't leave my phone. These people are so insecure, bro.
It's like a dinosaur being afraid of the shadow of a rat. And it's like the shadow of a rat appearing to be a giant dragon to a dinosaur.
Right. Your vibrational circumstances upon the depth of human body. Your vibrational circumstances upon the depth of the human body determines whether your soul escapes the void. Let me read that again. Determines whether your soul escapes the vacuum nature of the material world. Vacuum. That's what they're talking about by going to light. That's a vacuum right there. It's gonna suck you back right into incarnation.
Ooh.
Put it right back into it. Okay, so it says vacuum escape. Let me read that again. Your vibrational circumstances upon the depth of your human body determines whether your soul escapes the vacuum nature of that material world. It's like a vacuum that sucks you in.
Reincarnation.
Right, it sucks you in.
That's going
what
to
it
the
is.
light.
Why does it suck you in? Because you're still not
Your heart
vibrating
is
high
heavy.
enough.
Your
You're not
heart,
vibrating high enough to overcome the temptations of this lower vibration.
that's because your heart is still heavy with matter. Your heart is not light as a
Not
feather.
only that, look, let me take it to a whole nother level, brother. In every demon movie I watch, I like to watch a lot of scary movies about demons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know a demon literally represents your genius?
Yeah.
Why? Because why do they represent your genius? Because you have to transcend your demons. You have to bring your demons into your possession, in opposed to having. This is what I see as a normal trend on every demon movie that has something to do with demons. The trend is the demon play off your own insecurity.
Yeah, the demon
Every time. The demon will play off of your insecurity. It will give you visions of stuff that you are not, are you afraid of, stuff that you're afraid of. It'll play you off of stuff that your childhood traumas, it will play you.
Yeah.
That's why self-mastery is important.
But see, what's funny,
huh?
The demon is using a power, your own power against you. Actually,
Exactly.
if you figure it out, you
point.
should.
Exactly. This is my point. This is what the Solomon Temple story was about.
Yeah,
you are Solomon Temple. The temple is your body. The temple is your body. All of this heavenly hell activity is going on within. What's called in Islam is called the inner jihad.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the inner jihad. Right? And what is the inner jihad? It's when Shaitan is either running rapid or is being tamed. Shaitan, which is Shaitan is really nothing more than your lower self desire, which is the primordial forces. But it's the primordial forces, right? That's which is that kind of represents the root chakra, right? It's the primordial forces, but you have to tame that energy. That's a primal force that can destroy all of reality.
Damn.
So
that force right there is very important.
And what happens is that's the same beastly force that drives our sexual desire, that drives our beastly nature.
Well, you want to know what's something else that's really crazy? What? Is that the force that's down there is the same force that fell from heaven. Lucifer fell from heaven like a falling rock. So that's the power of heaven falling from the crown chakra all the way down to the root chakra.
I'll even go further with that. Where is sperm produced?
In the brain.
Exactly. So that's a physical manifestation of the heaven being brought down back from heaven and falling into hell.
Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of the possibility of women in Tibet in causing themselves to get pregnant by putting their vaginas up towards the sun? You ever heard of that?
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
And
also there had to be a way in order for them to produce a male, because prior to there being a male, there had to, you know what I'm saying, they had to be able to produce a male.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So, and I think there's a science to that too. And I forgot the exact words that speak to. I'm gonna do some more research on it, and I'm gonna bring it up to next show.
Yeah, I want to
There
do
was
something.
a science. There's a science to that too, where women were literally, before there were men, they can have babies without men, without the whole process of, you know what I'm saying. I think the
Mm-hmm.
process that they had to go into was more of a fall into humanity,
Was
the
what?
duality. Because prior to women having to have birth with a male, they was
Yeah.
having birth without a male. So I think the male having to manifest outside of her was more of the fall,
Mm. Well, the fall was necessary
or
anyway.
the physical, or huh?
Well, that was part of the process because the fall, once we we entered out of the 0 point into creation or manifestation, that's where the fall began.
But that's what I mean, though. There are aspects of that fall that we're dissecting and we're discovering. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think that a part of that fall was the masculine and feminine principle manifesting themselves in two different manifestations.
Well, okay, you can say that, but I say that wasn't the reason for the fall, but that was.
Well, I didn't say it was the reason for the fall. I said it's evidence of the fall.
Oh, okay. Well, or something that happened within the fall.
Yes.
Okay, because the fall is something. Well, when you say fall, it almost makes it sound like something negative, but it's
No,
not
the
because.
fall is not. See, and that's the thing. It's like we have to put things in their proper perspective, because this is what beyond consciousness is what we're trying to. This is why the divine darkness is about.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the
Well,
divine darkness is about, because you go beyond physical reasoning or human reasoning. And
yeah, and that's
once you can go beyond that, to me, that's like a deprogramming type of alchemy, mental alchemy.
yeah, it
It's
is,
a
and it's almost
deprogramming
dangerous.
part of a mental alchemy, which
And
allows you to go into other aspects of yourself, to realize other aspects of yourself.
yes.
So
Mm.
yeah, I might
Yeah.
we got to cut this one short, man. I got to go into something else in a
Okay.
minute.
Yeah, I think we did it. We did a good job tonight. We
Of course,
brought
you
in some
know,
good
we
references.
go in. We see once we create this. Once we create this energy vortex, where we creating, it's like it's inevitable. It's unstoppable, man. It's like, you feel me. We go. It's
Mm-hmm.
like we be pulling from so many higher. Put it like this: us looking at that lecture, right?
Mm-hmm.
All we did was heighten that lecture. He should be really paying us to review his
Yeah.
lecture.
Hi. I'm doing a podcast. Can I call you back? All right. Okay.
We only heightened his lecture by reviewing it and going through and going in detail from from the soul, the universal soul perspective. You know,
Yes.
because that all that concept of the soul, it originates with us. We gave that to the world. Stop it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
all they're doing is regurgitating
They're
stuff.
doing the work for us.
They're regurgitating stuff just so, because this is us rising, because this is my understanding of how the knowledge got preserved, so that we can, when we rise, and we can have that knowledge to, you know what I'm saying, to remember, to, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We preserve that knowledge, and who do we preserve it through? We gave custodial power to the European,
The
because we knew.
European.
Yes, we gave custodial power to the European. Why? Because we knew that the European was so arrogant. We knew that he was going to try to utilize it on his physical orientated understanding of things and try to weaponize it.
Yeah.
And this is not what it's for. You can't weaponize it. You can't use it to do stuff that like they want to do with it. They're trying to weaponize it. No.
Well, we can weaponize it too, but then they're weaponizing it against its origin people that it was designed, that it's here for, to raise back up. I mean, I guess
it is a continuation of that lower vibrational thinking that breaks reality back down to a lower vibrational reality. Society itself is reflective of the vibration that people in that society are vibrating on.
Yeah, that's why I sent you that the book, the video on that book, the Dark Forest, because according to the Dark Forest, what's happening here is worse than this in the entire universe on the physical level, or in other dimensions too, because man, the the shit that they were talking about was really out there. How intelligent life, once it encountered other intelligent life out there, it try to snuff it out before it get a chance to know that it exists. Because it's either we snuff you out, or eventually you're going to find us and snuff us out.
I think the next show should be stop being so preoccupied with physical death.
Probably so.
I think that should be the next show. We should do research on countering that bullshit idea of physical existence, and
All right, call it.
To realize that, okay, physical existence to me is not even impressive to me, if you ask me. But when you're so impressed with it, all in moderation, bro. It's like, come on now. Let's do it all in moderation. Let's do it in moderation. To me, just means do it all in my eye. Do it in the vibrational energy of recognition of my eye. Right? And that's reciprocity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I've come to the conclusion. And my thing is, if you're doing it in reciprocity, then you should have time to do some of the stuff that we're suggesting that raises your vibration. This is all about prioritizing. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, we're not telling you to commit suicide, but prioritize though. The hell, let's not get so caught up. And my thing is, another thing is, who's controlling the narrative? Because at the end of the day, we've allowed ourselves to be led astray because we've allowed people to control the narrative, and we just follow along. That's over with.
Well, that depends on the individual, but I believe that a lot of us now are no longer a part of that category. There's a lot of people out there that are like us, and they're creating their own narrative, or they're discovering the real true narrative, or actually it's kind of hard to know that because life is infinite. This thing is infinite. So but I believe there are people that's able to transcend beyond the narrative that's being taught or that's being presented to us. I think there's a lot of it.
Let me go further on what I mean by who controls the narrative. It was really supposed to enlighten or get people. It was basically sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
If you on this show, then you know you are controlling the narrative.
Yes, you're controlling
the narrative.
Yeah, if you're watching,
you don't perceive yourself as the controller, then you're on the wrong show.
Or you're just playing with yourself.
Right. So as being the controller, right?
Mm-hmm.
we have multiple ways of getting beyond what can be what we can be victim of circumstances of. There's plenty of time if you do what you're supposed to do to allow yourself to transition beyond circumstances that may appear, that may come. These of course, one of the main things that not applied is the ability to anticipate. Why did our ancestors forecast the future? Right, a level of prediction, so that now we can anticipate certain things. And now, what happens is the government does this all the time. They have all of these different scenarios, right, where they consider all the factors in these scenarios.
Well, these things are called cycles. Government understands the cycles. Our ancestors understood cycles. And by understanding these cycles and understanding that our souls, the divine spark, has completed these cycles before in other incarnations, and it's going to continue to do this again, by knowing, understanding this knowledge, or having understanding of this knowledge, then we were in Egypt. We didn't have one book like we do here in the Western world, the Bible or the Quran. But in Egypt, we had many books, many books. So we it was infinite information. So what was I saying?
Well, the thing about Egypt is that it will literally tap into your genetic. They will have so many practices that will tap into your infinite genetic memory and allow you to remember what you already knew. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they was helping us remember what we were forgetting. We were forgetting. Remember, we were deteriorating.
Right.
We were deteriorating. That was the reason why they did the mystery schools. They were trying to hurry up because we were going to deteriorate to a point where we were going to forget everything. And so that's why we had to hurry up and bring this information up in Europe and also help.
So that's just like what we just said, how the Egyptians used to bring down higher vibrational conceptual ideas down to a lower vibrational level by exposing us to the metaneta, and exposing us to the ideas and principles in all of the what we're calling hieroglyphics, which really is actually metaneta.
Yes.
Right, which literally means the communication of the gods, or the gods communicate.
Symbology.
Yeah. So, and we're just using the word God because we know most people are orientated to that word, which doesn't correctly express what I'm trying to explain right now.
Because they didn't use the word God. God is a new term.
Literally called a netter or a netter root.
Netter root.
It was netter or netter root.
Yeah, so they didn't use the term God. That's something that we invented.
Just means an expression of God. The netter is an expression of God. It's an expression of the higher intelligence. I'm just using the word God, like I said, because most people are oriented.
What we know. Yes, what we're
doing. A netter is not a God. A netter is not a God. A netter is an expression of the higher intelligence.
Aren't the netters or elemental spirits?
Yes. Netters and netter rules. Netter rules are the and the netters are the masculine, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the chat.
Yeah, please feel free to correct us.
Of course, man. At the end of the day, I can stand to be correct. I'm not that egotistical, and I'm sure enough to accept when I'm wrong.
And I challenge anyone to come on the show and
Yes.
and if they wanted,
you're going to have a respectful conversation. By you're going to be able to say anything that you want to say. We're not going to censor you. Like, this is a free forum. Like,
no, yeah, we're not,
talks, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Long to me, I feel like it's like we have to stay in line with the divine primordial forces too.
With these principles that we put up, that we presented a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah. Number one, the only true reality is the all.
Right.
Don't come up here saying God is all, God is this, and God is that, because God is a limited principle.
It is finite.
It's a fun, yeah.
Yeah,
it's God a limited principle. Okay. Yes, don't come up here with that shit.
I agree. And I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Don't come with that lower vibrational folklore, because you got to realize that a lot of people water down the true science because first of all, the priesthood was trying to control the masses along with the monarchs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the priesthood was controlling the monarchs. You know what I'm saying? So where you get everybody wants to basically go at the elitists when the real true puppet masters are the priesthood seers. Those are real true puppet masters, man. The priesthood, they've been controlling humanity for a millennium now, man.
And you have many priesthoods down here.
Right.
We ourselves, we represent a priesthood.
I mean, I would say we are somewhat similar to a priesthood, but we're not guilty of any of the corruption of most priesthoods. What I mean by that is, like, I'm never going to in the sense of not making people realize this is why we do the disclaimer. Don't watch this unless you are on the path of self-realization and self-mastery. That's a disclaimer. That's anybody who not, because other than that, you're going to categorize our you're going to
limit. You're going to put yourself in a box, and you're going to try to put us in this box with you, and we're not going in that box with you.
That's it. There it is right there. You know what I'm saying? This is what we mean by controlling the narrative. Y'all can't come in here trying to control the narrative.
No. That would not be allowed. No.
And also, you can't come in here trying to validate what you're convinced of, or what validates your reality, and try to impose that on what we have theorized and what's that word where we're creating reality as we speak? We're creating that shit in me. So there is no set physics, motherfucker.
Yeah, and all you Bible,
literally creating it as we go.
And all you Bible dudes, you Bible people, when you come in here reading that Bible stuff, you better be reading it inwardly. It better be metaphysical. You better be like a Reverend C. Freeman L. with that shit. If not, don't even bother. Take that stuff somewhere else.
Right, that's another. See, we're actually coming up with what the rules of what I wouldn't call it a priesthood, but this is the priesthood. We basically coming up with the
it's an urban priesthood.
Right.
It is what it is.
But
it's an intelligentsia, and we're all it belongs to all of us.
Right. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, a priesthood, like I said, a priesthood is like this compartmentalized organization, and they're using the compartmentalized, organized way just to keep people like a pyramid scheme and shit. No, man.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all the priesthood, because they all are making themselves appear to be more important than they actually are.
Oh, well, then that's the wrong word for it. We're invisible, invisible did entities.
Look,
I'm
I am
visible
not.
and invisible.
I am now. I am me personally. I'm no one important in your soul progression, in your realization. I'm no one important.
Oh no, no.
I
Yeah,
am no.
right.
It's just
You're when it,
I just really at the end of the day, I just love speaking these concepts and this challenging what we've been convinced of. This is
oh,
what it is basically. So if people are willing to come along in this journey too, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it is what it is.
yeah. Well, I just want to let people know this shit is getting really, really serious. It's popping off on all levels. The financial world, that world is popping off. The weather, the geology, the volcanism, socialism, this thing they call the pandemic thing they're calling. I mean, all of this together. I mean, it's
Coming to a
just
head. It's coming to a
it's,
head, man.
it's coming to an end, and things are going to really get interesting, very, very interesting. And this
I
is
mean, it's
where,
been to me. I'm saying it's been interesting since 2000. To me. Ever
yeah,
since the ball dropped in 1999, it's been going down.
it's been
Period.
going down. Yeah,
And all we're doing is realizing an accelerated version of what we've already been experiencing. It's going to accelerate. It's going to intensify. And
yeah,
that's
and
why you have to embrace. You got to accept it, embrace it. If you haven't been prepared for it on a physical level, because mind you, we're physical beings too.
we're
we're
what?
we're 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 experiencing the physical reality too.
Yeah, we're not physical. We're spiritual
We're
beings.
we're experiencing this physical reality too.
Yeah,
So
well, we're both. Yeah, we're experiencing this physical, but unfortunately for our souls in this particular section of the physical world, we're encased in a very, very grotesque level of matter, extremely heavy level of matter, and they want to get heavier and heavier. They want to completely entrap us into this. I mean, okay, so
if
be
you're
it.
not on your work, if you're not doing the work, it will. Of
Well,
course, if
yeah,
you're not doing the work.
even then, it's still not going to win because somebody's doing the work. And if because someone's doing the work, it's going to bail us all out.
Well,
It's going
it's going to be an example of the work that they need to do. So if we become examples, right, and
yeah,
show people this is the main, not necessarily show them on a physical see with your own physical eye type,
yeah,
but show them through our transition. Like I literally am a living example of a higher vibrational being. Right? I see how people react to me. I see how people like are watching me. Put
mm-hmm,
it like this: most people who know me, I didn't introduce myself to them,
mm-hmm.
so I know they're watching me. So
Okay,
I'm an example of the vibration that they need to get on. You understand me? And that's how you do it. This is the work. The work is, and like I said to myself, my priorities need to be more on doing my meditations, even though I do them constantly but I don't do them like the whole sit down ritual. And everybody do their rituals and they do their meditations their own way. I'm always countering what I've been convinced that is reality. I'm always doing that work, that alchemic work in my mind and in my subconscious mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a part of my meditation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Everybody can participate in this level of alchemic meditations. It's like, really, that's the real work. When you're doing the soul alchemy work, that's why this is what this program is called. Soul Cycle Alchemy.
Yes, the work is an inner.
Yes, it is.
It's an inner work.
This is more of giving. I gotta end it because we've been on 3 hours now.
Yeah, oh shit.
This is more of what I've been saying about we are creating this reality. If we are allowing someone who's not even powerful enough to even have a determining effort within this shit, right?
Well,
their efforts don't even matter. Their efforts don't mean. It's like boxing with God. It's like
they're only powerful in this matrix.
Look, those who have an actual effort, like, because we have melanin, so whatever we're going to affect, what's going on inside of us is going to affect it on a whole another higher level. So this is not saying that because everybody got melanin, they just have it. I think from my study,
they don't have the same molecules that we have.
Europeans have a certain melanin that's like recessive. It's a recessive melanin.
Yeah, they don't have the same molecule that we have. Our molecule.
So everyone has melanin. So I'm speaking about everyone. So everyone, no one is excluded from what I'm speaking.
Now, yeah, some of them don't have that neuromelanin like we do, but then again, some of them do.
Well, we have to stop taking away the credibility from how much we play a part in the population.
But then again, there's a lot of us running around that are counterfeit spirits too.
No, of course, but a lot of us have abandoned that part of ourselves through religion, through being indulged in this society so much to where your soul is like a a very dim. It becomes very dim.
Well, that's because
you don't realize it anymore. Like this is where I'm talking about. This is beyond the counterfeit soul. Beyond the counterfeit soul, a lot of our people, their souls are so dim to their realization that it's like it becomes entropy.
Well, that's because they're functioning on the same level of the calcified pineal gland intellectually.
Calcified. So that calcified pineal glands go through a state of entropy too. You're not using it. If you don't use it, it basically goes through a state of entropy.
Dormant. It becomes dormant. And we grew up, we live in a society that's based on this calcified pineal gland principles. And so we're functioning within that and we're believing within that. So we're shutting down that function within us. Well, we've been shepherded into that realm. But then again, thank God you had the Black metaphysical movement and all these different movements that have helped people move in a different direction and do the work for themselves to open up their own pineal gland that own first eye and understand what it really is and how powerful it really is.
Right.
And now we're entering into this, we're learning more about this divine darkness, how, we can go beyond all of this shit, beyond all of this.
But
There
that's
is
my
a
point.
Yeah.
That's my point is we look at the end of the world, the apocalyptic condition that we see coming forward as something that's negative or something that's bad. And I look at it as something we should celebrate, embrace. I look at it as something just like death. Death is nothing that you need to be sad about.
Yeah, well, I don't feel bad.
You embrace death. You embrace, you mourn for a minute, and you get to a point where you embrace. You only mourn for a minute. Why? Because your emotional attachment can keep that spirit here and from going on to where they're supposed to be.
See, my only problem is I have no problem with death or any of that stuff. I have a problem with surviving. I don't want to be that lucky motherfucker that survived the big one and is left over in a world that you don't want to live in.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. That's worse than death. Death is great. Death, man. I mean, if you die, it's when this shit goes down and you die, you don't survive. Shit, you got raptured. You don't have to deal with it. But if you're here afterwards, then okay, it can be a good and a bad thing. Bad thing is you left in a world that you really don't want to be left into. But the good thing is you get to start the next humanity.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
Everything is based in negative and positive, brother. You can't say you one. This is this is another delusion that people have gone by, is that they think, or they hope that everything is going to be a certain way that they projected optimistically looking at it, and they're not willing to embrace everything, every possible thing that may possibly happen in the equation. And it's like, this is like how we glorify our ancestors and say we was great this and we were great that, but we made a lot of mistakes, and we were falling from grace. A lot of it, we end up, so we got to embrace every aspect of the universal principle of negative and positive. We can't get caught up in, that's a human deception of everything has to be a certain characterized way of looking at things that fits our perception of what comforts us. Because that's really comes from, that's what positives come from, is if it's comfortable, is it gonna be comfortable for me?
Yeah.
if it's gonna be comfortable for me, it's positive.
Yeah.
But if I got any challenges, oh, it's gonna be all negative.
Well, I mean, you can look at it that way, but like I said before, there's a good thing, there's a bad thing. The bad thing, okay, you survive and you left in the world.
No, that's a whole another perspective on what I'm saying. You're right about that. No, you're right about that. But I'm saying, what I'm saying is another aspect of how you can raise your vibration. You have to realize certain things about yourself, right? Because you putting up any limitations, you have the insecurities that, and the fears, and all of these things that boundary you, that imprison you inside of yourself more and more. You repress. It's called repression. You become a prisoner within yourself, right? Meaning you don't want to face yourself, but you can't do nothing but face yourself.
Okay, well, you're gonna have you're gonna have to face yourself because you survived this shit. You're gonna have to start humanity over
Even if you don't
and start.
even if you don't survive,
Oh, then
you're gonna face
you lucky.
yourself.
Well, if you don't
Look, even if
survive,
you don't look, at the end of the day, even if you don't survive, when you don't, if those souls that don't survive, that don't mean they're over having to face themselves, though. Having to face their lower self desire. They're gonna. It's called purgatory for a reason. They're going to have to realize beyond this human existence before they can move on. That's what the article was talking about. It says whatever your conscious level was when you leave your physical body is what you're going to perceive.
Okay, so some people are going to wake up on the 6th and 7th level of the sub-realm, and those aren't real bad. They might wake up on the 4th and 5th level. Those aren't bad. But if you wake up on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, oh shit, you in hell.
Right. And hell is nothing more than a lower vibrational aspect of yourself.
Yeah, but the beautiful thing,
how you can raise your vibration.
Yeah.
Then
so
you go into
can learn
aspects of yourself.
Yeah, you can learn on the astral realm. And so you can go to the next realm, and to the next realm, and to the next one.
Remember the story of Jesus going to hell and bringing back some souls?
I don't know about the souls. I didn't hear about the souls.
I could have sworn that's what the story was saying. He brought back some other souls from hell.
No, I thought he brought back the keys.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. But that story, we only have part of the story anyway. Those stories are not going to be too relevant. I mean,
it's relevant in the sense that it's allegory. It's relevant in the sense that it's allegory to our point of lower vibration, higher vibration of your own progression or your own evolution.
Yeah, it's about our evolution, and it's about becoming Christ and going to hell. Yeah, he go to hell for 3 days and 3 nights.
Our evolution is facilitated by our vibration. So,
you're gonna have to go to hell for 3 days and 3 nights.
Whatever vibration you on is what you're going to experience.
Yeah, well, even if you're on the Christ vibration, you're going to have to go to hell for 3 days and 3 nights, and you're going to rise, and then you're going to be stuck in darkness for 40 days and 40 nights, and then after that, you ascend. That's the Christ story.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is really a cosmology talking about when Sirius reached the highest point in the horizon, the cross point. Really, and it's crazy because what they call that in rap, right, will be called a triple entendre.
A what? A triple entendre?
A triple entendre. That means you can say a line like hold up. Damn, I forgot the line that I used to always say. That's a double entendre. When I said the double entendre, I said was put proof in the pudding, putting down, pushing. I can't remember the line, but a double entendre is like a metaphor within a metaphor.
A metaphor within a metaphor. Okay.
A metaphor within a metaphor.
How would you explain a triple one?
A triple entendre will be a metaphor within a metaphor within a metaphor.
Okay, it'd be 3 metaphors within a metaphor.
Yeah. Right, but they're intertwined to where you would have to be able to catch it to be like, damn, he This can even mean this. This could even mean damn. It's like it's crazy. Jay-Z do that a lot. Jay-Z does that a
you'll
lot.
say something
He be
and
doing double entendres.
Nick, and you can frame it. You're reframing something. You're taking it out of you're putting something in a frame where it can be framed in 3 different ways.
Multiple frames. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You can take it multiple ways.
Yeah, it can be multiple frames. Okay.
Right.
But you don't know exactly which one.
Oh yeah, this how that line go that I was talking about. I said, I'm in the pudding. It's that proof is in the pudding. I'm in the putting it down and gaining footing and gaining footing. Did you get it?
The proof is in the pudding. I'm into putting it down and gaining the pudding.
And gaining footing.
And gaining footing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I get it.
The rhyme. That was just the rhyme. But did you get the double entendre?
Yeah.
I said I'm into putting it down. I'm into putting it down and gaining footing. Like the proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
I'm putting it down. I'm in the pudding. It was a triple. Because I said I'm into putting it down. And I'm in the pudding. I'm in the putting it down, like I'm putting it down.
I'm in the pudding, I'm putting it down.
I'm in the putting it down and gaining footing. I'm in the pudding. So it's like proof is in the pudding. That's like a triple entendre.
Okay. I get it now. I kind of get that. All right. Well, it's getting late.
Yeah, let me get out of here, man.
Yeah, man.
I'll be so caught in the energy of this energy that we creating this shit. It's like it's hard to go to the illusion, back to the illusion.
I know, man. Damn, it's hard sometimes getting into it, but once you get into it, you're there. I'm there, and damn.
We create energy. We create we put a void, man. We create a whole vortex.
Yeah.
The whole universe.
Yeah, we're changing the world with this. Yeah.
Yeah, we're creating a vortex right now. Like anytime we get on here, we create a vortex. Right? We got these bots on here just putting their little cryptic messages on here and shit.
Oh shit.
You see this shit in the chat?
Let me put this thing on.
I don't know what the fuck these messages they putting in this motherfucker. But
okay, here we go. Yeah, Yanez, Yabe, Islam brother. Von, Harold Dickerson. Vorid. Vorfe. Sister 19.
It's a Von Rent. Von Rent. Well, it's a Von Red. Oh no, it's a Vorred. Vorred. That may be motherfucker spell, man.
Damn. Oh, they're trying. Are we being attacked? Are we being attacked?
Try to say it all the way out, it's gonna manifest some shit. No, I ain't gonna say that shit all the way out.
They're trying to attack us. Oh shit!
At the end of the day, man, do your best.
Yeah, that's why I put that mantra out there. I put that mantra out there on their ass.
Live dangerously, man. Let's live dangerously, man.
Yeah, because that shit gonna come back on you. Shit, your power ain't
like it's unavoidable. This dark energy y'all fucking with, y'all don't want to go into that triple stage of darkness.
I know. You gotta sleep at night. You gotta close your eyes.
Right. That shit that haunt your ass when that darkness hit your fucking eyes, boy. That shit that darkness, that eerie feeling you feel. That's what this is right here. Yeah, that eerie feeling you feel when the darkness comes. That's exactly what this is, man. It's gonna haunt your
demons in your sleep.
By you even getting in the vortex we're creating, right?
Yeah.
You're fucking yourself up if you're not ready to get to the vibration too. You're fucking it up because you're gonna go back to your cardinal existence, and all it's gonna do is haunt your ass.
You think we got some agents out there?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I
That's
don't
flattery
know.
to me.
Yeah,
That's flattery. Like, I'm flattered.
that
Man.
will
I'm
be.
flattered. They think
Yeah.
I'm flattered, man. Like,
Y'all
really,
ready to go to war? The spiritual. Okay, agent.
They already lost. That object, that like you said, that object orbiting the sun right now has come to destroy you guys.
Yep. And we have spiritual access to that motherfucker. We can manifest this shit day and night. Manifesting some shit.
The thing
down
about
here.
it is, these motherfuckers are suggesting that their weapons are going to actually prevent this shit from happening. No.
There's nothing they can do to prevent this from happening. And not only that, this isn't Mother Nature. This isn't some shit, some act of nature that's happening on Earth that will start and build and then end. No, this is shit that's going to happen constantly and constantly and constantly and constantly and build and build and build and build and build and build until bam, this shit is just full blown. There's nothing you can do about it. And
physical reality, the vibration of the physical world is being rehauled.
Yeah.
It's being rehauled. It's being reprogrammed.
Reset.
They got to reprogram the motherfucker. So
yeah,
in order to do it, they got to wash out the old program.
Yep, it's just gonna get washed out. They're gonna bring in the wrecking ball, baby. Here comes the wrecking ball. And we're directing it.
Right. This is what I mean by transitioning. That is, if you're not able to transition to the illusion, you don't get it. You're going to fall into the lower vibrations. You know what I'm saying? They already showed you they're going to attempt to.
You're gonna end up getting. You're gonna get
manufacture the end of the world.
You're gonna end up
to manufacture this shit. So they're gonna make it appear like what's happening is going to be something that they're controlling, and they're controlling the circumstances of.
Well, it's going to appear that way for a minute, but then it's going to get out of hand, and then you might end up getting in the way of things and end up getting caught in the middle.
It's already out of hand.
Yeah, it's going to really get out of hand, but they might jump off with some war and shit with Russia, but I don't. It's all kind of crazy shit. I mean, it's man, this is like a hell of a roller coaster ride we're on, man.
But
one hell of a roller.
When we focus on the agenda, that means we're going off of the inner work.
Yeah.
When we're focusing on their idea of what's going to happen, we're going off of what's happening with what's going on with it. So
yeah,
more controlling the narrative type of idea, more creating the end of the world, in opposed to allowing yourself to be a circumstance of it. Right? We're creating the end of the world. Like
we're creating it.
We're creating this.
But it's not something you can talk about.
Stop putting yourself in the disempowered mortal aspect of what's happening.
Well, yeah, that's true. But, this is not something you can talk about to everyone every day, though. Hey, we're bringing on the end of the world. Okay. All that bad shit you hear about happening, we're bringing that on.
It's a judgment day. My eye has to be heard, bro.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a judgment day coming on this physical existence.
Well, in that case, oh shit. All that shit them Christians been preaching to you in the streets about Judgment Day, well, it's here now. Judgment Day is here. Okay,
Right.
it's Judgment Day, and the verdict's going to be in.
The verdict's already in on humanity.
The verdict in, and here it comes the hammer. But then again, at the same token, don't be afraid, because here come the gifts too.
And also, we have to consider that the end of the world is a new awakening for these sparks, these soul sparks here. There's a whole new awakening, and we're going to enter a whole new plane of vibrational existence. And like I said, those who, it's just like some people will not, you know what I'm saying, subscribe to the story that they tell in the scripture, where it says some people will be left behind. Well, I look at that as a metaphor or analogy of those who chose to not raise their vibration.
Yeah,
they're absolutely going to experience. They're going to experience something that's going to be based in fear. It's going to be based in low vibrational.
Yeah, it's going to be so traumatic.
If you're transcending, if you're doing the work, if you're doing the meditation, I mean, if you're doing the rituals, everyone who's in this on this broadcast who's listening in, you should have a ritual. I mean, you should have an altar.
Oh, yeah,
And if you don't have an altar, a visual altar, mentally, I have a mental altar that I have that is in the mental plane, and I have physical altars. So
okay.
These are the things we need to be doing. Right? Yeah. They're trying to make us go into another version of what we already have. This is the metaverse is something that we already doing right now.
Yeah.
We in the metaverse. We in what the original natural metaverse was based upon.
And the gifts that we're going to be receiving are going to be gifts where we can manipulate this mug. Or they're going to be
the gifts we're going to receive is from that realization of the control. We have the controls already.
Yeah,
we already have the control mechanisms already.
Yeah,
we control this shit.
They dormant, or they've been used.
We control it. Listen, bro. We'll be back next week, y'all.
Yeah, we'll be back. Peace. Okay.
Peace and chaos. Chaos and peace.
Absolutely. Okay.
That is the absolute.
Absolutely.
Out of here.
Out.